Jim Potter's been released from prison. Potter was serving a 2-year sentence after being convicted of first-degree manslaughter for the shooting death of Daunte Wright. Potter told investigators she had mistaken her gun for a taser when she pulled it on the 20-year-old during a traffic stop in 2021.
What are the chances Giannis takes the floor tonight in Miami? Greg has the latest coming up in sports.
Citing unlimited WTMJ News Time, 3:04.
This report is sponsored by Creative Planning. Give your wealth a second look. CreativePlanning.com.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
All Brewers games are on sale now, including a star-studded battle with the Angels on deck for April 28th through the 30th. Witness some of baseball's biggest names go head-to-head as Corbin Burns and the crew face off against Shohei Ohtani and the Angels. Plus, take home a limited edition Brewers hoodie at the game on Saturday the 29th. Get your seats today at brewers.com/promotions.
Let's take a minute of R&R. R&R Insurance, that is. R&R Insurance provides employee benefits to all of us here at Good Karma Brands. Business insurance is getting more complex these days. To share some knowledge is Jeff Salasinski, VP of Insurance Operations at R&R Insurance.
Yeah, Vince. Today's commercial insurance market is more complex than ever, and it demands the sharp focus of your insurance advisor. R&R Insurance is focused on sharing strategies with our clients about business insurance. The devastating impact of catastrophic storms in the Midwest and South, along with inflation, are driving prices higher, not to mention the complexity of cybercrime. If your agent's not discussing these important risk management topics and options with you, you're putting your business in jeopardy.
So, Jeff, what's the solution?
As the knowledge brokers, we bring deep industry knowledge and 48 years of local ownership and stability to today's market. R&R Insurance is focused on you, the client, and protecting everything you've worked so hard for. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzek.
Well, 18 years ago yesterday I should say, this happened.
With the 24th selection in the 2005 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Aaron Rodgers, quarterback from California.
Yeah, remember that? 18 years removed from that day, Aaron Rodgers is at the heart of trade discussions involving the Jets. Discussions between the Packers and Jets have ramped up, according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport.
It would be bigger news if the Jets and Packers were not talking right around now, because this is kind of the time when a deal should get done.
Yeah, it's draft week in the NFL. The Packers currently own 10 selections, including number 15 in the first round. Should be noted the Jets own back-to-back picks in the second round, numbers 42 and 43. Brewers homestand continues tonight with the first of 3 against the Tigers. Milwaukee 15-7 on the season. Half game back of the Pirates in the NL Central Division. Tonight's game can be heard on 94.5 ESPN at 6:40. We'll have Bucks basketball tonight on WTMJ beginning at 6 o'clock. You know, the sound you hear is from Bucks' late morning shoot-around. Giannis did take part. Still listed as questionable on the injury report. Heat All-Star guard Jimmy Butler also questionable with a back injury suffered in Game 3. Heat lead the series 2-1. So he's still questionable on the injury report, but Shams Charania is reporting that Giannis will play tonight after missing the last 2 games. He's played only 10 minutes in this series. Somebody's going to have to quiet the Heat down. They're shooting 50% from 3. You're not going to win a series if the team's allowed to do that.
So, you're not. But with Giannis in there, that changes the defensive dynamic, too.
It changes a little bit everything.
Yeah, he doesn't change guard on the perimeter, but it changes the way they have to run their offense.
Well,
so this is big news.
He may end up guarding a guy like Jimmy Butler.
He did the last time they played the Heat.
And it worked.
Yeah.
And he did not start the series on Jimmy Butler. He could have at some point played against him, but he only played 10 minutes. So Butler, Giannis, those are the names we're looking at tonight going into game 4.
Sounds good, Greg. Thank you. The 3 at 3 up next on WTMJ.
As life changes, your needs change too, which is why it's so important to work with a financial advisor who understands your needs as you approach retirement or if you're already there. Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal, president of Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialist. We understand retirement because retirement and investment planning is what we do. For over 3 decades, we've been helping our clients retire on their terms with our streamlined retirement process. We go beyond investment management to truly understand you, your goals, your concerns, and your vision of retirement. Our process is designed to help you get the most out of your lifetime of hard work and retire well. If you're close to already in retirement and have $750,000 or more in retirement assets, now is the time to meet with our fiduciary advisors. Give our office a call today at 262-522-4040. That's 262-522-4040. Or visit thecowallway.com to schedule your complimentary, no-obligation retirement review.
Cowall Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
If you're a veteran on active duty, reserve, or a military spouse, this is your wake-up call. It's time for basic training to be an entrepreneur. If you've ever wanted to own your own business, the Veterans Business Outreach Center is here for you. Get started today by texting the word VETERAN to 855-616-1620. The Veterans Business Outreach Center helps veterans of all eras. Just text VETERAN to 855-616-1620. The VBOC is an official program of the Small Business Administration and hosted by the Wisconsin Women's Business Initiative Corporation.
Explore Milwaukee's iconic Harley-Davidson Museum this spring. The Harley-Davidson Museum campus boasts one-of-a-kind shopping with exclusive Harley gear from 2 new retail stores, an interactive experience gallery, and the Motor Bar and Restaurant. Riverfront dining with daily specials like fish fries and barbecue. And make it a point to ride over on May 4th for Bike Night, where you can stock up with up to 70% off on deals from their factory shop. The Harley-Davidson Museum, 15 years as one of Milwaukee's top tourist destinations.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. There are over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
If you're looking for the finest of furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's John McCure.
All right, happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Amy Taylor is here in for Sandy Max. Greg Matzik is here. Debbie Lozick is here. And Adam Roberts is producing the show. And on a Monday, we've got several stories that we're tracking.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's afternoon news.
All right, Amy, where do we start?
Despite last-ditch efforts to keep it alive, a major home goods retailer has filed for bankruptcy.
It is Bed Bath & Beyond, filing for Chapter 11. They did try to sell to somebody. They were looking for a buyer. None came forward, so they filed for Chapter 11, saying that they have not been able to raise enough cash to cover costs. So what this means basically is that the 360 Bed Bath & Beyond stores and the 120 Bye Bye Baby stores and the websites are eventually going to close. They're open right now, but they say if they do not find a buyer, all retail locations will shut down.
I keep thinking of wedding season right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so those registries will transfer to another platform. So rest assured you'll get your present.
I did think it was interesting in the statement from them. They put it this way. We've been there to help people from going to college to getting married, from selling a new home to having a baby. Our teams have been with you through your life. And that kind of sums up Bed Bath & Beyond.
Now, that's a good communications person.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. 2 major news talking heads have parted ways with their respective networks. Big news in cable today.
Huge news. Tucker Carlson has the #1 rated show on cable TV, and Fox News says that they are parting ways. No detail on if he was fired, although it sure seems like he was fired because he was on the air on Friday and didn't say goodbye and actually said, I'll see you on Monday.
Oops.
Guess not. And Don Lemon out at CNN saying, I am stunned. That's what Lemon had to say in a post on his Twitter account. We're going to take a much deeper dive on this and go into some detail coming up at 3:15. So hang on for about 5 minutes from now, and we will go deep on this. I'd love to know how you feel. 855-616-1620 is the Old National Bank talk and text line. Lemon and Carlson out. What are your thoughts? 855-616-1620. All right, what is the third thing?
Turning to the summer, Drizzy. Do you actually know who that is? It's Drake.
Not till you told me.
Drizzy is coming to Fiserv Forum with 21 Savage.
Indeed. It's his first time coming to Milwaukee.
This will be a big show.
Drake, one of the most influential and successful rappers of the 21st century, is coming to Milwaukee for the first time. August 3rd, it's his It's All a Blur tour. And he's with Savage, who's another superstar rapper. This is interesting because Greg and I covered the Bucks when they were in Toronto, and Drake was kind of the face of the Raptors. He sat courtside. He was obnoxious. He was loud.
He had those big wrestling belts, right? The WWE wrestling belts.
So I think he wasn't welcome in Milwaukee. And there was a real feeling that because of those antics during the playoffs, he and Milwaukee had kind of a rough relationship, but he's coming now.
Removed from the Eastern Conference Finals by a couple years, he maybe felt it's safe territory now to invade.
Remember how hated he was in Milwaukee?
Well, yes, right. I mean, if you're
Obnoxious.
a Raptors fan, like it's like having an owner who's not an owner. Like he was the face of the Raptors as much as any player.
Well, the Bucks are owning it too now, so he better shut up.
Exactly.
He better shut up.
Can't mess with us. All right, coming up next, as I said, we'll talk about Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon being fired. What are your thoughts? 855-616-1620. I've got some very specific thoughts. 855-616-1620. Get a hold of us here at WTMJ on the Old National Bank talk and text line. Old National Bank, get old.
Best record in the league?
With their 58th win of the season.
Check. Number 1 seed?
As the Bucks have clinched the number 1 overall seed going into the playoffs.
Check. Next up, another championship.
And the road to the NBA title will go through the cream city of Milwaukee.
Listen to the Bucks tear through the playoffs right here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
With inflation affecting so many families, the super affordable Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford is better than ever. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The breakfasts are big, $8.99 or less. The price is small. Mondays are Family Pizza Day. Enjoy a huge 18-incher for just $14.99. Easily serves a family of 4. Pizzas like this at other restaurants, $20 or more. I love the pepperoni at the Mine Shaft. That pizza's awesome. Tuesdays, tacos are only $2.99. Your kids and grandkids can safely play in that $2 million game room, quietly tucked away from the dining area while you maybe have, I don't know, a margarita. How about that? The Mine Shaft desserts are all buy one, get one free. The chocolate cake, I'd buy 5 of those and get 5 free. That's what I'm talking about. The amazing Mine Shaft on Main Street in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh, right off the interstate. Enjoy that huge Monday pizza for $14.99. Tuesday tacos, $2.99. Happy hour every day until 5 o'clock with half-price beers and cocktails. No reservations needed. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
It will be an evening of nonstop laughter with the Latin Kings of Comedy, featuring Paul Rodriguez.
The only good thing about getting old is that now I can sit and watch television, and I know what all those pharmaceuticals are for.
For one night only, Friday, May 5th, 8 p.m. at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
If you're going to get married, guys, go home and see her mother. Get a good look at the future. And you ladies go see his father. Find out where that belt is going to be.
Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. It's the Latin Kings of Comedy, featuring Paul Rodriguez. Friday, May 5th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Must be 21 to attend show.
If you were offered a guaranteed cash prize, would you take the offer, or would you risk it to possibly win more? It's Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells Take It or Leave It. On April 29th, you could be chosen to play the Take It or Leave It game, where you could be one of several participants to have the opportunity to pick a case containing up to $100,000 in cash. It's the Take It or Leave It game, April 29th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
See Ho Chunk Gaming representative for more details.
Need a roof guy, window guy, bathroom remodel guy? No, you don't. J&J Contractors do it all, using high-quality materials for your interior and exterior needs. Just Google J&J Contractors.
Traffic and weather sponsored by J&J Contractors, Southeast Wisconsin's most trusted home remodeler since 1983. Good afternoon, Deb.
Good afternoon, John. Southbound 43, we do have some delays coming in from just south of Silver Spring down to Capitol. Then a little bit tight through the Marquette. Just heads up, though, we do have an accident at Layton on 94 southbound. So it's off on the right shoulder, luckily, but that's just something to keep in mind if you're going to be heading through that area. Southbound on 894, you're going to find this is going to be a regular thing where we're going to see delays just south of the Zoo Interchange down towards Lincoln Avenue. Right about at Lincoln is where they cut off that left lane because they were doing some work in the median there. So the left lane is closed kind of on a long-term basis to do this construction work. So delays are coming out of the zoo with that. Southbound on 41 from Capitol Drive down to about Burleigh, that's going to be a heavy spot as well. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, a little bit of a wintry mix is possible, a low of 36 degrees. There are scattered showers now north and west of Madison. Tomorrow, wintry mix is possible, a high of 50 inland, cooler along the lake. On Wednesday, mostly sunny, a high of 48. Thursday, cloudy, 58. Friday, partly sunny, 59 degrees with rain late in the day. By the way, the weekend also looks kind of soggy. Right now in Milwaukee, it is, I don't know what the temperature is. I'm not going to lie. I don't have it up in front of me.
48.
48 degrees. Debbie Lazaga,
Sometimes you
ding,
wonder
ding, ding.
just how filthy and dishonest our news media are.
Thank you.
I can't believe that we're here.
The news today, Tucker Carlson, who you heard there, has been fired. Don Lemon has been fired. The right is unhappy. The left is unhappy. Us in the middle don't know what the hell to think.
My mom used to always say that. If everybody's a little unhappy,
Yeah.
there's something good happening.
Let's bring in Derek Dennis, ABC News. He's been tracking this story all day and joins us with the details. Good afternoon, Derek. Let's start with Tucker Carlson. What do we know about his situation?
Well, we don't know much other than that he and Fox have agreed to part ways. We haven't gotten a statement from Tucker Carlson himself. The only statement we got was from Fox News Media confirming the departure. Fox News wishing Tucker Carlson well, noting that he'd been with the network for a very long time. He is was the highest rated host on Fox, averaging 3 million viewers a night. And Tucker Carlson last appeared on air on Friday, telling viewers at the end of his show he'll see him on Monday. So something happened between Friday.
I saw that
and
sign
this
off.
morning.
He looked so happy and he was like, "Oh, we'll see you
See
Monday."
you Monday.
Yeah.
Guess not.
But we know that his last appearance on air came just days after Fox settled that huge lawsuit, defamation lawsuit brought by Dominion Voting Systems, alleging that Fox, Tucker Carlson, and a number of other Fox hosts were spreading disinformation and falsehoods about the company's role in the outcome of the 2020 election that former President Trump lost. Fox lost that case, settled that case out of court for $787 million, but the outcome did not require Fox to apologize or admit to any wrongdoing whatsoever. So we really don't know a lot of the behind the scenes of what happened between Fox and Tucker Carlson, but the timing of the settling of the Dominion lawsuit and Tucker Carlson's last day coming just days apart certainly has many people connecting the dots.
All right, then Don Lemon. So we get the news about Tucker Carlson, Derek, and then we hear that Don Lemon has been fired at CNN, and Don Lemon kind of broke the news himself. What do we know about the Don Lemon situation?
Right, unrelated, two different networks, but another big high-profile host on cable news, Don Lemon, let go by CNN. Lemon himself, as you mentioned, he broke the news himself on Twitter, saying that he was terminated by the network, and then he made a curious statement in that he said, "I would have thought someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly. At no time was I ever given any indication I would not be able to continue to do the work I have loved at the network." And then he added, "It is clear that there are some larger issues at play." He did not elaborate on that last part, but it was clear that Don Lemon was having a tumultuous time at the network ever since he got moved from his primetime show to the host of CNN This Morning, early in the morning. He had a series of statements on there and comments made that drew a lot of negative attention, including the not in her prime statement he made by former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley. That got him suspended for 2 days. He had to undergo sensitivity training, and he had to apologize both publicly and within CNN to colleagues, many of them women who were outraged by his statement. And so Don Lemon was said to be, widely reported to be on thin ice, but that was in February, and he seemed to survive it. He went back to work, and it seemed to be business as usual. So this firing today sort of came out of the blue.
Derek Dennis from ABC News with us this afternoon. Thank you so much for the update, Derek.
Sure thing.
All right. I got to say something here. Then we're going to get to breaking news. Good riddance to both these guys. They are
John,
idiots.
I
Thank
support
you.
that thought.
Tucker Carlson, unethical, admitted through text messages that what he was saying on the air he did not believe. Admitted that he knew the voting machines were okay, but went on the air and said that they were not.
I mean, he
Claimed
almost
fraud.
changed the course of democracy, this man.
Unethical.
Unethical.
POS.
Bad for
See you later.
journalism. Bad for journalism.
Don Lemon, Bad for journalism.
Bad
Don
for
Lemon
journalism.
at CNN. Don Lemon said this about Nikki Haley, presidential candidate, former ambassador, former governor. He said this about Nikki Haley when talking about the age of candidates. Talk about politicians not in their prime. Nikki Haley, as a woman, is not in her prime. A woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s, 30s, maybe her 40s. She's well past that. Yikes.
I'm coming over. It makes me want to punch. I'm not going to lie. It's infuriating. Terrible.
Absolutely awful stuff. And these are after the reports.
And he was fighting with Caitlin Collins the other morning anchor.
Fighting with her. Kira Phillips, who he anchored the news with. She got assigned to go to Iraq for an assignment he wanted. She came back, and he had torn up the pictures and notes and research papers that were sitting on her desk and left them in shreds because he was unhappy with her.
If this was TV, you could see my jaw dropping.
In 2014,
I didn't know about that.
He told a Bill Cosby rape accuser that she could have stopped what happened to her by biting his penis, and it was her fault.
Okay, that's disgusting.
So good riddance to both of these guys. See you later. Won't be missed.
Bye-bye.
Black-eyed journalism. No more. See ya. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, we've got breaking news. Greg Matzik.
A deal is done. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Aaron Rodgers will be traded to the New York Jets for the following compensation. Packers will receive the Jets' first-round draft pick, number 13 overall. In round one of Thursday's draft, they'll also receive a 2023 second-round pick, number 42 overall, a sixth-round pick, and a conditional 2024 second-round pick that could become a first-round pick if Rodgers plays 65% of snaps next season. The Packers will not only give up Rodgers, but they'll pick swap with New York, sending their number 15 pick in this year's draft to New York, along with a 2023 fifth-round pick. So they'll swap first-round picks. Packers are giving 15 to the Jets and acquiring number 13. They get the Jets' first second-round pick, number 42. Packers' own pick, number 45 overall. They're getting a sixth-round pick and this 2024 second-round conditional pick that becomes a first-rounder if Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps. We'll have more on this throughout the afternoon, but Adam Schefter reporting that the compensation package is in place to send Aaron Rodgers to New York to play for the Jets, where he's also reporting Rodgers will wear the number 8.
Okay, so the big news of the compensation side of things seems to be that they could have acquired another number 1 if Rodgers stays healthy, is basically how that number 1 would become a number 1, right?
The 2024 pick is conditional. It is a second-rounder based upon Schefter's reporting that will become a first-rounder if Rodgers plays 65% of the plays. So that has nothing to do with Rodgers playing beyond next season.
Right, which is what we had been talking about.
Which some people thought was going to be a key component to a trade compensation. This is more if Rodgers plays a little more than half of the plays this season, the Packers will receive a first-round pick in next year's draft instead of a second-rounder. A second-rounder is not bad either, by the way.
Yep. All right, we're digesting this. We'll have more on it as we head through the afternoon. Keep it right here. We'll bring you more on this as we head through the afternoon. First time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Kind of a mixed day. The S&P 500 up a tiny bit, 4 points today. The Dow was up 67 points, and the NASDAQ dropped 35 points on the day. Earnings loom from tech heavyweights later in the week. We'll keep an eye on the markets for you as we head deeper into the week. It's time to calibrate your plan. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com. Click the Get Started button today.
Like it or not, you are a media-consuming machine, chased all day by headlines, texts, emails, on the TV, the computer, the phone, even your smartwatch. News about market volatility and uncertainty could lead to anxiety and planning paralysis. No surprise, Americans report increased stress about their investment and retirement plans. This isn't a time to be frozen in place. Take action. Put Annex Wealth Management on your side. Build a plan that will help cut through the noise. We'll provide comprehensive investment and retirement guidance that includes tax and estate planning. Let Annex do a deep dive on your portfolio. Offer unbiased advice with Wealth Metric and work to create a solid plan for you and your family. Turn down the media roar. Dial up the planning. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button. It only takes a couple of minutes, in person or online. It's time to take action and know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. That's Annex Wealth Management. annexwealth.com.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange. Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
This is Tom Feza. When I have a roofing question, I contact Scott Klein, owner of J&B Construction, provider of high-quality exterior home improvement products and services since 1958.
Thanks, Tom. Between the two of us, we've seen hundreds of failed roofs, along with the unfortunate consequences of water damage. Poor workmanship, improper product usage, lack of ventilation, inferior flashing detail, and loss of control due to subcontractors are some of the most common reasons for roofs failing. At J&B, our objective is not just to sell another roof. We want to educate our clients. When J&B's experienced sales staff achieves that goal, our roof systems sell themselves.
For a complimentary roof evaluation, call Scott at 262-437-0537 or visit jnbconstruction.com.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
Traffic is brought to you by the senior real estate specialists at brucesteam.com, with you every step of the way. From downsizing to selling the long-time home, the senior real estate specialists at Bruce's Team are with you every step of the way. 262-242-6177.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, it's involving Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Brian Gutekunst, Packers GM, is at the podium.
Some things to go through.
How talks maybe accelerated the last 24, 48 hours, and things pick up this week? Or
not really. I would say the last, 5, 6, 7 days we've been talking. We've been talking, much longer than that. But I think the last 5 or 6 days over the weekend and stuff that there's been a lot of conversation that helped us get to this point. But again, there's still things that need to be done. It's not finalized, but we do expect it to be done here in the next couple days.
Is it just paperwork at this time, at this point?
Mostly, yeah. But those are significant, so we're not there yet. But again, we're expected to have this done before the draft.
Ryan, how important was it to get this done before Friday?
It was very important for us. I think, wouldn't have been the end of the world, but at the same time, I think it would have certainly changed things quite a bit. So getting it done ahead of time was important. I just think certainly the capital for this year, was very important, certainly more valuable than future stuff. So for our football team, so there was a number of reasons, but that's why.
And I believe at the owners' meetings, we talked about that 13th pick, and you said it's not like a must-have. Mm-hmm. How did that swap become involved in it, and was that something that maybe
I'll at some point, because I know I'm going to be talking a lot over the next 5 or 6 days, I could go into some of those, but nothing's really been finalized yet. So until it does, if you guys, just bear with me, I'll go through that stuff with you at a later date. But right now, we're still, ironing some things out. But I appreciate the question.
How important was it for you to limit some of the conditions on the pick that the Jets will include for next year as much as possible?
Yeah, I'm going to echo that again. Before I get into any of those kind of things, we're gonna pause there, and we'll pick it up in these other times. I got to talk again, right? Okay, yeah. So.
Turning to the draft, Brian, what do you like specifically about certain positions in this year's draft that you think can help this team?
Yeah, I think it's a good draft overall. I'm much of the belief that every time you pick, there's a player that can help your football team. I think I might have mentioned, but I think it's a good edge class this year. I think there's a lot of deeper class of edge players than there have been in other years. But I think, tight ends is another one I think I mentioned earlier as well. So, but I think it's a good draft overall. I think it's certainly one that we're excited about. One that we really believe we're going to be able to add to our football team and help us for 2023 and beyond.
That is Packers General Manager Brian Gutekunst. Reports are that the draft compensation has been agreed to in the Aaron Rodgers trade. He will become a New York Jet. Greg has the details on that. He will get into that as we head through the rest of the afternoon. The GM there saying there are still things to be worked out, indicating that, yes, the reports are true, but he can't answer detailed questions because they're still working out the details, and neither team has officially announced that this deal is a done deal. This, by the way, was scheduled to happen long before the developments this afternoon because the GM always talks leading into the draft.
This is a normal pre-draft press conference. This was announced last week that Goody would be talking today at 3:30, so this is not a pop-up press conference to announce a trade. It's not designed to be. Of course, as the news broke about 20 after 3, and we were right on top of it, it was 10 minutes before Gutekunst's scheduled appearance. So he's fielding some questions, but sort of evading it, but did say, yeah, we expect it to be done here in the next couple of days. So that's a big takeaway. Nothing made official by the teams. Adam Schefter reporting the compensation plan.
Greg has sports up next. Then we're going to have a conversation on this. We'll open up the text lines as well, the call and text line, the Old National Bank text line, talk line, 855-616-1620, Old National Bank, good old. How do you feel that it finally appears to be done that Aaron Rodgers is going to no longer be a Packer? 855-616-1620. Sports is up next. John Mercure here for Griffin Chevrolet in Milwaukee. I can talk about Griffin Chevrolet because we just bought a car at Griffin Chevrolet. It's a brand new Chevy Blazer. It's sweet. It's my wife's vehicle. It's absolutely gorgeous. And they made it easy, and it's like that for everybody who walks in there. They've got the best service. They've got the best selection. Right now, they've got over 28 new vehicles just delivered, in stock and ready to be delivered to you. Over 50 pre-owned trucks, SUVs, and sedans available. I see them sitting on their lot. Great selection of new and pre-owned Chevrolet Camaros, Corvettes, just in time for spring and summer. Looking to sell a car? Your vehicle's worth more right now. Let Griffin Chevrolet buy your vehicle outright. No need to buy anything from them. Ask about their hassle-free appraisal process for your car, truck, or SUV. You can have a check for your vehicle in under an hour. Stop into Griffin Chevrolet today. By the way, for first responders, whether you're in medical, law enforcement, or you're in the military, 15% off if you show your ID on any repair. 15% off. It's Griffin Chevrolet, right on the Metro Auto Mall. The teams I trust are at Griffin.
When a new baby is added to the mix, saving money becomes a real priority. Shopping at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores can help. With an abundance of baby clothing and toys, all thrift store priced at pennies on the dollar. You'll spend a little to get a lot. Find great deals on gently used baby clothes and toys at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
It's time to upgrade that old patio furniture with By the Yard maintenance-free outdoor furniture. By the Yard furniture features no painting, no rotting, no splinters, no storage ever. With over 400 items in 9 UV-stabilized colors, By the Yard is proudly made in the Midwest and backed by a 35-year warranty. Explore By the Yard's outdoor furniture collection at their showroom location in Mayfair Mall, Wauwatosa, or visit bytheyard.net. That's bytheyard.net.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzik.
Well, the deal is done. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Packers will send Aaron Rodgers, the number 15 pick and a 5th-round pick in this year's draft, to the Jets in exchange for the number 13 overall pick in this year's draft. The Jets' first second-round pick, number 42 overall, and a conditional pick in 2024. A second-round pick today that could become a first if Rodgers plays 65% of the plays. Aaron Rodgers' final week in Green Bay as a Packer, it looked like it. GM Brian Gutekunst saying just moments ago that he expects the deal to be done in the next couple of days. NFL insider Ian Rappaport reported over the weekend that trade talks between the Jets and Packers resumed over the weekend and that he felt the deal would be done before the draft began.
I'm not sure this is something that could be done on the clock. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't think that helps anyone to do it on the clock. It's probably more like a this week thing.
Round 1 of the draft takes place Thursday night. NBA insider Shams Charania reporting that Giannis will play tonight in Game 4 of the Bucks' opening round playoff series against the Heat. Giannis still listed as questionable on the most recent injury report.
We're hopeful he's there, and he'll be there, later on in the playoffs. But for non-Giannis lineup, stuff like that, non-Giannis minutes later on in the playoffs, this is good for us.
Bucks center Brook Lopez. Tonight's game, can be heard on 620 WTMJ with coverage beginning at 6 o'clock. Heat All-Star guard Jimmy Butler also listed as questionable on the injury report. And the Brewers take on the Tigers tonight at American Family Field, game 1 of a 3-game series. That game can be heard on 94.5 ESPN with coverage beginning at 6:05. John and Amy will dive more into the Aaron Rodgers situation. Compensation plan reported. The Packers are getting the Jets' first-round pick, but giving up their own. But the conditional 2024 pick, I think, is one that's interesting to watch. This is not incumbent on Aaron Rodgers playing beyond next season, just how many snaps he plays this season.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, then we're going to get into that compensation package. We'll work in some of your texts and phone calls if you have a reaction to the breaking news that Aaron Rodgers is officially becoming a Jet. The number for you, the Old National Bank talk and text lines, 855-616-1620. We'll do all of that, and then less than 10 minutes from now, Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher will be with us live right here on WTMJ.
Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Badger Fence. If you listen to the show, you've heard me talk about the beautiful new cedar fence I have installed in my home. Well, a company I trust with that job is Badger Fence. They've been installing high-quality, durable fences in the metro Milwaukee area since 1945. Proud member of the Better Business Bureau with an A-plus rating, as well as a member of the National Association of the Remodeling Industry. If privacy, security, and a wide choice of fence styles are top of mind when choosing a fence for your property, then Badger Fence is the right company. Licensed, bond, insured. They use the best materials, finest materials in the industry with more than 75 years of experience. Badger Fence knows that premium fence materials, design options, and affordability all play an important role in your satisfaction with your fencing project. So whether you want wood, ornamental, chain link, or even PVC, they can choose the right materials for you for your fencing project. When it comes to quality, they are unmatched in the industry and at the most competitive prices. We love our new wood fence. When my wife Kathy and I were shopping around for fence companies, we found the right match with Badger Fence. To set up an appointment to talk with Badger Fence about your project, go to badgerfence.com. Tell them Steve from WTMJ sent you.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
The breaking news this afternoon is that the Packers have agreed to terms to trade Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. Adam Schefter, the first one to report the actual trade compensation per his sources. Basically, the Packers will move up 2 picks in the first round. So they had the number 15. They will move up to number 13. So that's the movement in the first round. The Packers also get a second-round pick this year, which is number 42. They give up a 5th-round pick. That goes to the Jets. That's number 170. And they get a 6th-round pick, number 207. So basically this year they move up 2 spots in the first round. They pick up a second-round pick. And then they trade, giving the Jets our 5th, and we get their 6th. Next year, a conditional 2024 second-round pick. So next year, the Packers will get a second-round pick for the Jets unless Rodgers plays 65% of the plays, which if he's healthy is going to happen. And then that becomes a first-round pick, which is a big deal. Greg Matzek's been on this story from the beginning. Greg, to me, it's like, all right, we gain a couple picks in the first round. That's probably not a really big deal. We gain a second-round pick this year. That's really nice. Then we flip the 5 and the 6, but next year is what's more interesting. It's going to be a second-round pick or potentially a first-round pick.
The biggest takeaway for me in the reported compensation plan that you just laid out is that the 2024 conditional pick has nothing to do with Rodgers playing beyond the upcoming season. Okay, he plays 65% of the snaps this coming season, and the second-round pick offered becomes a first-round pick. Right? Now think about this. If Rodgers doesn't play 65% of the snaps, something went wrong, he got hurt, something happened, and the Jets more than likely are not going to have a great season. So that pick, right, that first-round pick probably becomes much more valuable to the Jets, who are kind of in that constant state of rebuild. Okay, if he plays 65% of the snaps or more, chances are the Jets are going to be a pretty good team and pick toward the back half of the first round. That would be my guess, somewhere between 15 and 30. They're not getting Aaron Rodgers to not be a playoff team.
And then they'll have Rodgers, and he'll wet the bed in the
right,
first round of the
will
playoffs.
Happen, but nonetheless, the fact that the conditional pick has nothing to do with Rodgers playing beyond the upcoming season is the biggest takeaway for me.
Because that had been the reporting, that likely it would be tied to if they can convince Aaron Rodgers to stay a second season. And to your point, that is not part of this at all.
No, not at all. So the pick swap, okay. Look, if this were a year ago, I think as a Packers fan, you'd be annoyed that you didn't just get the Jets' first-round pick
Agree.
Without having to touch your own. But this wasn't MVP, back-to-back MVP Aaron Rodgers we saw on the field last year, right? It was different. He didn't play well. So the leverage the Packers had, in truth, was a little bit less than if they tried to pull off a trade a year ago. So the fact that they are getting a first-round pick, they are moving up a little bit in the draft, they get the Jets' first, second-round pick, so now the Packers have pick number 42 and 45. That sets up nice and maybe gives you some ammunition to move down in the draft to acquire more picks. It's not considered a strong draft by comparison. So you've got a little flexibility with the picks that you've acquired. But I think overall, I look at this, and I can't say if one team got fleeced or not, but it appears fair. But I am surprised that there's nothing tied to how long Rodgers is a Jet.
All right. It is 3:43. Amy, did you want to weigh in?
I sort of want to talk about why this happened. Was it inevitable given Rodgers' psyche and the way he was feeling about Green Bay? And are people going to be really happy that it did happen?
Yes. Get him out of here.
We'll put up should we put up a poll? I'm looking at Adam right now. His head is spinning back there. We do a poll. Aaron Rodgers is traded. I am happy or sad. Have another. Just respond with your reaction.
The relationship has soured.
Yeah, I think you make them choose. Are we happy or sad? Yeah, I think the relationship soured 6 months ago. I mean, we've done this topic repeatedly on this show.
Right.
And the number's gone up and up and up for get him out of here. Ready to be done. All right, let's do this. Let's take a break and get out of here because Mark Tauscher's lined up to talk to us up next. The Packers Hall of Famer, played with Aaron Rodgers. He will join us on the hotline straight ahead on WTMJ.
There are heroes among us who run toward danger rather than away from it. We call them first responders. This is Steve Scafidi. WTMJ is partnering with Educators Credit Union to honor police officers, firefighters, and countless others who work every day to protect our families and loved ones. Do you have a first responder you would like to nominate? Go to WTMJ.com, click on the Salute to Service banner, and share your story. We'll bring you the incredible stories during Salute to Service month in May.
Steve Scafidi's Salute to Service with Educators Credit Union. Details now at WTMJ.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert back to report even more home buyers paid over the asking price last month, rising to 50% in the 5-county metro area. 3 out of 10 paid $10,000 or more above that list price. The good news is appraised values are generally keeping up with the over-asking offers. Still, the most powerful thing a buyer can do to make their offer the most attractive in a multiple offer situation is to give the seller some appraisal wiggle room. Telling the seller you're willing to pay over the asking price, even if the house appraises lower, sounds scary because most buyers think they have to fill that potential gap with more down payment. But in the vast majority of cases, AccuNet is showing home buyers how they can offer appraisal wiggle room without bringing a nickel more to closing. Appraisal wiggle room is like a good card trick. You need to see it to believe it. So if you're home shopping with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, upgrade today to an AccuNet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Advent founder Dr. Madan Kandula.
If you were formerly breathing properly and we just plugged your nose up, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it for a few minutes. You're not going to like it for an hour. You wouldn't stand it for a day. If we're talking weeks, you're going to be clawing at the walls to get that thing off. And if we're talking months to years to decades, many of our patients are basically walking around with clothespins on their nose and they don't know any difference. They've never experienced what life is supposed to be like when you breathe properly, and so for them, they feel like it's normal. It should be no surprise that many of the folks that we treat have downstream conditions. So if somebody's nose isn't working properly, if somebody's throat isn't working properly, they're not breathing properly. And when you don't breathe properly, it creates problems for your body.
When you breathe well, you live better. Go to adventknowes.com to schedule your appointment today.
Breathe well with simple solutions.
Visit GetRoto.net for all your sewer and drain cleanup needs.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Traffic and weather, then Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. All right, Deb, how we doing?
94 southbound, we got an accident at Layton off on the right shoulder. Watch out for the delays there. Southbound on 41, starting to hit the brakes right about at Wisconsin Avenue, all the way down through the zoo interchange to about Lincoln Avenue where we had that construction going on. Westbound 94 is going to be tight coming out of the stadium interchange. And then on southbound 43, on and off the brakes basically from Silver Spring down to Capitol Drive and a little bit heavy through the Marquette interchange. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, a wintry mix, a low of 36 degrees. Tomorrow, that wintry mix continues, a high of 50 degrees. On Wednesday, sunny 48. Thursday, partly cloudy 58. On Friday, rain late in the day, a high of 59 degrees. According to numerous sources, Aaron Rodgers has been traded to the Jets. Details still being worked out, but we do kind of know what they are. The basic details are that the Packers move up a couple of slots in the first round. They pick up a second-round pick this year. They flip their 5th and 6th picks with the Jets, and next year they get a second-round pick, and if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps, that becomes a first-round pick. Mark Tauscher of Wilde and Tausch, Packers Hall of Famer, longtime tackle in the NFL, is with us this afternoon. Hey, Tausch, thanks for making some time for us.
You got it.
This doesn't surprise me, but looking at the text line, which is blowing up, going crazy, I'd say 80% of the texts are glad Aaron Rodgers is gone. We put a quick question up, a Twitter question. 71% are, here's the question. Finish the sentence. Aaron Rodgers has been traded. I am happy or sad? Those are the only two answers. 71% say happy. I'm not surprised. You have a different perspective than the rest of us. You've been inside an NFL locker room. You were in the locker room with Aaron Rodgers. What is your core reaction today to the news that this is indeed going to happen and be done?
Yeah, I'm sad. I think it's, I understand why everybody's happy. Everybody's done with it. But you have a great player that's walking out of your building, and you have a lot of uncertainty, and there's going to be a lot of excitement that comes with that. But I don't think when you look back, this is all going to come back to, how good of a player is Jordan Love, and that's going to be the question mark moving forward, because Brian Gutekunst did a fantastic job of getting as much as he could to be able to get a first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers next year. If he plays 65%, he's going to play 65%. Unless he's injured, he's going to play 65% of the snaps. And the Jets could stink. They could, that conference is loaded with quarterbacks. So to not have that tied into any playoff stuff, kudos to Goody. But for me, just as a Packer fan and as a former player and a former teammate of Aaron's, I'm sad in the fact that this ended this way, that this is how it played out, and that he only was able to win one championship with the Green Bay Packers. So I will move forward. I think as, fans have already moved forward. I've always been of the belief that Aaron was going to be able to get another one, and he put this team and this franchise and this fan base in a lot of great positions to do it. But you only leave here with one championship, and for that makes me sad.
You have a unique perspective because you also played with Brett Favre, and you were here. You were on the team when Favre left. Did you have the same reaction? Did you also feel sad when Favre left?
Well, I think everybody, even, liking Aaron and knowing that Aaron was going to be good, we also knew that there were going to be growing pains and there was going to be time. And when you get to be a veteran player, at that point, I think it was in year 8 or 9, my contract was running out. I knew that Brett Favre was going to give us a better chance to win that season. Not to say that Aaron wasn't going to get better and better, and obviously we were able to win a championship 2 years later. But yeah, I think anytime you have these transitions in life, and this is, as a Packer fan standpoint, this will be one of those bookmark dates that he looks back and say, this is when you traded Aaron Rodgers. And that's the end of that era, even though it's been drawn out. We knew this was happening, and it was, March 13th that he announced he intended to play for the Jets. It took this time to get here. But this era of great football is over, and I think that should make everybody sad that, again, there's a lot of excitement. Everybody is hoping, and a lot of hope for the future, but a really fun, great era of football with another Hall of Fame quarterback has now officially been ended, and yeah, that makes me sad.
Tausch, I imagine guys in the locker room are going to spin positive. Hey, we move forward. We got a lot of confidence in Jordan, right? This is where you'll hear everybody talking about how much they think Jordan has improved. Whether they fully believe that or not, how do you think this news travels inside the locker room? Do you think there is a split? Some are ready to rock and move forward with a new quarterback. Some are sad. It's a locker room. That's the sanctity of the team. That's a big deal to make sure that locker room is cohesive and ready to move forward together. How do you think this news travels?
Yeah, I think it's, you're going to have some of the younger players that have been with Jordan and are excited about his development and maybe didn't like the way Aaron handled some things, maybe will be excited. But I think mostly it's going to be relief, because those guys now, usually you'd see players and coaches have conversations in that first week of the off-season program. You didn't, and I think the Packers were wise to do that. I think everybody is relieved that now they can talk moving forward, whether or not there's veteran players in that locker room that are really disappointed that Aaron Rodgers is not going to be their quarterback. They're not going to tell you that, and they shouldn't. But there's no doubt that everybody realizes that this is a reset as far as, having a new quarterback. That doesn't mean this team can't be good and that this team can't contend to win an NFC North. But I think the overarching, you're going to have a lot of the veterans, I think, that are disappointed, but everybody in the locker room, and that includes Goody and the front office, there is going to be a sense of relief that we don't have to keep talking about this, that the Aaron Rodgers stuff, we'll talk about it, and now everybody moves forward. And I think there is something liberating about that as a player.
Yeah, going back to the compensation, Tausch, as soon as Aaron came out of the darkness retreat and appeared on McAfee, to me, at that point, that was the end. That was the end of Aaron Rodgers playing in Green Bay. I did not envision him taking another snap. So the fact the Packers were able to swap first and second round picks, they get rid of the financial obligation. For a guy who was never going to take another snap in Green Bay, with only one team bidding on Rodgers' services, to me, it feels like the Packers probably got as much out of this as they possibly could.
Yeah, for this time and for how this all played out, to have somebody that's taken on that salary and you're still able to get, you pick swap this year, you get the second. I don't think there's any swapping this. I think you get the 42, and then next year you're looking at a position where it's going to have to be a complete dumpster for the Packers to not get a one. And there's a really good chance that the Jets, in a tough division with Buffalo and Miami, it could be a tough year if Aaron isn't really sharp and playing great football. You're going to get a good first-round pick in next year's draft. He tipped the cap. I think I was under the impression you were going to get a two, and then a potential, if the Jets have a really good season and make the playoffs, that turns into a one. I think Goody did a fantastic job of, not panicking and getting the Jets to come closer to his side of what he was looking for, which was that one. It doesn't look like it's a one right now, but it's going to be a one unless Aaron Rodgers is hurt. And to get that with the potential of it being a really good pick, you have to tip your cap to Brian Gutekunst.
Mark Tauscher, Wilde and Tausch, 9 a.m. to noon on ESPN Milwaukee. We really appreciate you making some time for us. Thank you so much, Tausch.
You bet, guys.
The Old National Bank talk and text lines open, 855-616-1620. Today, the day that Aaron Rodgers has traded to the Jets, are you happy or sad? Those are the choices, happy or sad. You can also weigh in on the Twitter poll. Go to my Twitter page or the WTMJ Twitter page. Are you happy or are you sad? Business headlines are up next. John Mercure here for Sit Mean Sit Dog Training. This weekend I was with Bella and Baxter, and I was moving the furniture out onto the patio. In the past, they would have barked and barked and barked. Squirrel, bird feeder. They did a little bit of that, but as soon as I told them to knock it off, they did, and they listened. Sit Mean Sit Dog Training has given me the tools to make sure that our dogs, our corgis, listen better. It's Sit Mean Sit Dog Training. They're the real deal. Begin with a free consultation. That's what we did. They'll take good care of you. SitMeanSitWaukesha.com. Matt and his teams will make sure your dogs are better dogs. SitMeanSitWaukesha.com.
Jeff and Roxanne here with Rhino Shield Ceramic Coating. Never paint your house again.
Rhino Shield will keep 100% of the rain and 90% of the heat from penetrating your house.
And it looks just like paint, but will last 5 times longer, and it's guaranteed for 25 years.
And it still comes in any color, as long as it's your wife's favorite.
Get 25% off their 25-year warranty if you book by the 25th. Call 262-900-4055 or visit rhinoshield.com.
Go Rhino Shield.
Business headlines, Sari Lesk is at the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Wisconsin's last Bed Bath & Beyond stores could close as the company enters bankruptcy. The home goods retailer asked the court for permission to auction its business, which could keep some stores open. Cream City Social Eatery starts its soft opening. The business on Center Street in Milwaukee serves menu choices such as chicken and waffles, burgers, wings, and pasta. And a new development firm plans to redevelop the site where DeSalvo's restaurant previously operated in Cudahy. The site could see a building with about 80 apartments, along with commercial space on the ground floor. I'm Sari Lusk with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, especially during our great outdoor event. Right now, get unbeatable deals on a variety of outdoor essentials, like 36-pound bags of estate lawn or garden fertilizer, just $24.99. Robic septic tank treatment, $5.99 a quart. 22-ounce S-Wing framing hammers, $19.99. $50 off a Hobart Handler 140 MIG welder. And 24 packs of Blaine's brand AA or AAA batteries, just $7.99. Shop our new Blaine's Farm and Fleet store in Grafton, located at 1771 Wisconsin Avenue.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
You've heard about Purple mattresses. Try it before you buy it at Steinhoffel's.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management.
Finally, he made his decision.
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
And now, the question is, when are they on the schedule? We are your home for breaking news. News Radio WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 4 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story. It's time for Aaron's Heir Apparent.
I'm Amy Taylor. Ron Johnson offers his support for the presidential campaign.
I'm Greg Matzik. The deal is done.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, still dealing with an accident on 94 southbound at Layton Avenue off on the right shoulder. Still going to be a bit slow on southbound 43. Delays starting before Silver Spring, almost to Bender Road, all the way down to about Hampton Avenue, Capitol Drive. Northbound side slowing down past that area as well. And again, back on the brakes on the southbound heading to the the Marquette interchange. Southbound on 41, slowing from Blue Mound all the way down to about Lincoln Avenue with that construction zone, new traffic pattern through there. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ and Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
Tonight, a little bit of a wintry mix, a low of 36 degrees. Tomorrow, a high of 50 degrees. It's currently 45. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Aaron Rodgers is New York bound. The Packers on the cusp of completing a trade of Rodgers to the New York Jets. Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst spoke to the media about an hour ago.
But nothing's really been finalized yet, so until it does, if you guys, just bear with me, I'll go through that stuff with you at a later date, but right now we're still, ironing some things out, but I appreciate the question.
According to ESPN, the Packers will move up 2 slots in the first round this year. They will also pick up a second-round pick next year and potentially a first-round pick in 2024.
Near tragedy in Wauwatosa this morning after a FedEx delivery truck was struck by a freight train. The crash happened on Walnut near Mayfair Road. TMJ4's Mary Jo
The FedEx truck
Ola.
driver was going westbound across the train tracks to the DPW lot here when the train hit them while going south.
The delivery driver had minor injuries and was treated by the fire department. No workers in the train were hurt. Now, this is a private crossing with a stop sign and a couple of warning signs about the railroad, but there are no arms or lights at the intersection here.
Police and other crews have been on the scene investigating the crash.
According to 2022 Federal Railroad Administration data, there were 40 highway rail grade crossing collisions in Wisconsin. 4 people died, 10 were injured in those incidents.
President Biden plans to announce he is running for re-election this week. Meanwhile, Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson says he'll support whomever becomes the GOP nominee.
If Donald Trump is on stage and he is the nominee, will you support him, or would you rather see someone else up on that stage?
No, listen, I'll support the nominee of the Republican Party.
What if it was Donald Trump?
I'll support the nominee of the Republican Party. Current thinking. It's what I've always done.
Johnson made the comments during an appearance at a Milwaukee Press Club newsmaker luncheon.
2 of the biggest names in cable news are out of jobs. CNN and Fox News today announcing they've parted ways with Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson. Lemon, who's at CNN for more than a decade and a half, taking to Twitter this morning saying he was stunned with the development, while Fox News released a statement thanking Carlson for his time at the network.
Former police officer Kim Potter has been released from prison. Potter was serving a 2-year sentence after being convicted of first-degree manslaughter for the shooting death of Daunte Wright. Potter told investigators that she had mistaken her gun for a taser when she pulled it on the 20-year-old during a traffic stop in 2021.
Evil had a strong showing at the box office over the weekend.
Evil Dead Rise conjured up a solid debut weekend.
Don't let it take my babies.
The 5th film in the Evil Dead franchise opened to an estimated $23.5 million at the North American box office, a great start for a film that reportedly cost around $15 million to make. It wasn't enough to take down the champ, however.
Come on, Mario!
Super Mario Bros. Continues to hold strong, finishing first for the 3rd weekend in a row, with another estimated $58.2 million. Evil Dead was second, and Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, debuted in third with just $6.3 million. Jason Nathanson, ABC News.
What are the chances Giannis takes the floor tonight in Miami? Greg has the latest coming up in sports.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 4:04.
It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
This report is sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. SidingUnlimited.com.
Integrity. Your home's integrity depends on the roof, on the windows and doors, on the siding. When your home's integrity fails you, you need the people who won't. Siding Unlimited. The dad started a siding company, called it Siding Unlimited, brought up sons Eric and Aaron Brown to be trustworthy, to value their own integrity, and after college to take over the Siding Unlimited biz. The boys expanded Siding Unlimited beyond siding to windows and doors, roofs and decks, your home's integrity factors. Now you can buy those things from lots of people, but I wouldn't. I value the integrity of Eric, Aaron, and the talented American craftsmen that are the Siding Unlimited team. And I'm not just their spokesman. I'm a Siding Unlimited customer. Reliable, truthful, talented, and trustworthy. Winners of many industry awards and customer accolades. They are SidingUnlimited.com.
Here's to soaking up surf culture on Wisconsin's fresh coast. Here's to beaches designed for people of all abilities. To sand between your toes and happiness in your heart. Here's to trading skylines for endless Wisconsin shorelines. And to ending each day with smiles all around. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Start your summer getaway at TravelWisconsin.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Wisconsin coding professionals and J&B Construction. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at AnnexWealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ. Time for an update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzik.
Well, the deal is done. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Packers will send Aaron Rodgers, the number 15 pick and a 5th rounder in this year's draft, to the Jets In exchange for the number 13 pick in this year's draft, the Jets' first second-round pick, number 42 overall, and a conditional pick in 2024 that will start as a second-rounder and become a first-rounder if Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps or more. Packers GM Brian Gutekunst moments ago met with the media, not able to say much about the situation. It's not yet been finalized by either team.
But nothing's really been finalized yet, so until it does, if you guys, just bear with me, I'll go through that stuff with you at a later date, but right now we're still, ironing some things out. But I appreciate the question.
Yeah, it's like 6 more questions after that about Rodgers and the trade to the Jets that he couldn't really comment on, but it does appear Rodgers will have to go through the physical and all that kind of stuff before anything is finalized. Round 1 of the draft will take place Thursday night. The Packers now own the 13th overall pick once that deal actually goes through. As for the Bucs, they could have Giannis on the floor tonight. In fact, about an hour from now, Giannis will take the floor, hopefully for his typical pregame workout routine. That could be the indicator, maybe the final indicator on whether he'll be available for Game 4 tonight. Giannis listed as questionable on the injury report, but ESPN, or I should say NFL insider, NBA insider Sam Charania reporting that Giannis will play tonight against the Heat, who own a 2-1 series lead. As for the Brewers, they take the field tonight at home against the Tigers. You can hear that game on 94.5 ESPN with coverage beginning at 6:05. Brewers drop 2 of 3 to the Red Sox, and Matt Bush, reliever, goes to the 15-day injured list. So a lot going on. Brewers and Bucks tonight, and the trade for Aaron Rodgers. Not much more you can pack into a sports day than that.
Yeah, that's a lot going on. All right, we're going to stay on the Rodgers thing. We're going to pick it up in just a couple of minutes here. Lane Grindle, Brewers broadcaster, he's been through a couple big trades. What's it like for a ball club when the face of the team is no longer the face of the team? Lane Grindle with us coming up at 4:15. Jason Wilde will join us a little bit later on, and you can always weigh in. The Old National Bank Talking text line is 855-616-1620.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Hello, baseball fans. Jeff Levering here, calling the action with the amazing team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And what a roster we have. Up to bat is Pella's award-winning Easy Slide innovation. Wow, what a smooth glide. Pella's sliding windows are incredibly easy to maneuver, wider than they are tall. They glide horizontally, letting in lots of natural light and unobstructed views. And that roll, it's a double play. Pella's premium roll screens operate like magic. Close the window and the screen rolls away, completely out of sight. Now that is slick. On deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door. Just look at that slide. It's a perfect fit. Pella Reserve patio doors offer virtually unlimited sizes and custom colors, and they're backed up with the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Pella sure is one heck of a 5-tool player, and you can bring any number of their all-star innovations home for 0% for 48 months when you order by April 30th. Visit PellaWI.com for this amazing deal.
Certain restrictions apply.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
If you're like me, you always like to add a little something new to the wardrobe. But when money's tight, it makes it harder. And that's why you shop at St. Vincent de Paul for a terrific selection of women's clothing at thrift store prices. Brand names too, with a selection that's always up to date and looking great. You're going to find something cute at the right price, and you're going to love it. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, and 23rd in Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. There are over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
This is Jim Griffin with spectacular spring service specials. We'll change your oil, inspect and rotate your tires, check the battery and air filter, give it a complete multi-point inspection, check your AC or your heat, even change your wiper blades, all for $129.95. Good at all 5 Griffin dealerships.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's John McCure.
All right, the big news today is that Aaron Rodgers is on the verge of being traded to the Jets, to the point that compensation has apparently been worked out. We're going to dive into that in greater detail coming up here as we head through the rest of the show. But we have got you covered on that. Another big thing that's happening this week is that Greg Matzik will golf 100 holes coming up on Thursday for the MAC Fund. And it's a fundraiser, and we need to help Grego raise some money. So this is the easiest way. Money goes to help the MAC Fund. If Greg can raise $7,500, he's going to grow his hair back. And none of us have any idea what that might look like. Do you have any idea what that might look like?
No. I think there'd be like a horseshoe kind of thing going on, maybe. I know it'll come back because I do put a Bic to my head every couple of days, and hair comes off.
You shave your head with a Bic razor?
I do. Well, it's like a 5 razor, like whatever, the 5 blade.
Is it just because it's the closest shave? Why do you use the razor?
Oh, yeah, nice and tight, man. Really nice and clean.
It does look
much
good.
better than clippers.
I have sliced my legs silly with a Bic razor.
Yeah, have you ever? I've never seen you with a nick. That must happen occasionally.
More so in the back where I can't really see it.
Can you do freehand? No mirror? Can you just?
I do. Yeah, I do it in the shower. It's nice.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
But my wife has never seen me with hair, ever.
It's kind of hot,
and
isn't it?
neither have my kids. And in fact, I would guess that most people listening have never seen me with hair. So I think we boiled it down to Jeff Wagner, Eric Bilstad, our 2 engineers, John Tyler and Scotty Pfeiffer, and maybe Vetrano, the only people in this building who have seen me with hair.
I think I've seen you with hair.
You might have. Mm-hmm. You were a big deal.
98.
You are
I was not
deal. I was just a little producer running around. But yeah, that's the idea. So if we can get to $7,500 raised, I will spend at least 1 month growing my hair back. So we talked about this on Friday's program, John, and we ended up raising about $1,000 on
awesome.
Friday. And so we're up to $5,550 raised. That's great. So we're getting a little closer. And the easiest way to be a part of this, if you're able to contribute $5, $10, if you're a company that might offer a match, great, let us know. But text the word golf to 855-616-1620. That's the easiest way to get the information sent to your phone very safely and securely. You'll get my donation page. So text the word golf to 855-616-1620. And it's kind of our final push here. We've got a few days until the event begins, the morning of Thursday, April 27th. Looks like a nice weather day. And we're just a little under $2,000 away from our goal.
All right, guys, you got to see this. So one of our listeners sent me a picture of Greg from 1996.
Oh, my gosh.
With hair. A very handsome man. This is Greg with hair. I've put it on my Twitter. So go to my Twitter, John Mercure, and you can see Greg with hair. I've never seen Greg with hair.
Oh, wow. I mean,
he's handsome, isn't he?
I'm not allowed to make comments because I've had sensitivity training.
It's a good-looking man, though, isn't it?
I mean,
objectively.
If we just pretend that it's just you and I sitting
right
here.
All right, then
that
what would you
guy
say?
Is hot.
Yeah. So go to my Twitter, and you can see a picture of Greg with hair.
Where did he unearth that? Who sent that to you?
Let's see. Who sent this to me? Someone named Lori. She's anonymous. Lori Worden, Werdin, and it just says, quite an athlete. And it's a picture of you running at the state track and field meet in 1996. Oh, my God.
Yeah, 1996. This was the state semifinal in the 400-meter dash.
Go to my Twitter, John Mercure. You can see Greg with hair. This is remarkable.
I guarantee my hair will not look like that when I try and grow it back. I don't think I can get it that thick on top anymore.
Well, we're going to try.
Good.
Let's raise some money. Let's raise that money. Text the word golf to 855-616-1620. Lane Grindle up next. We're going to ask Lane a couple of questions about the Aaron Rodgers developments today and about that Brew Crew. That's straight ahead.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely baseball season. This is your place to catch every pitch.
Here it is. He struck him out swinging.
Home run.
Going back onto the track. It is gone. Mike Brasso goes deep.
And everything in between.
I want to find that tape. We got to find that tape.
We'd be better off listening to adhesive tape.
We are the home of the Brewers on WTMJ.
Here's a great way to brighten up your Monday. Enjoy a free dinner from the award-winning Fox & Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill. It's WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox & Hounds. With the unique atmosphere, friendly staff, and free dinner, it's the best dining value in the state. Enjoy a fabulous steak, seafood, pasta, big fresh salad, anything on the menu. Your second dinner is free. Ice cream, drinks, and desserts. Buy one, get one free. They've got like a chocolate peanut butter mousse pie. My goodness, that's to die for. 100 wines, 20 fine bourbons, a great beer list to accent your dinner. The Fox & Hounds, kind of hugged by the Kettle Moraine Forest. It is magical. Perfect to celebrate a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or just a quiet free dinner with your spouse. I was in the beer garden. They have a beautiful beer garden. I was sitting out there just last week. just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. Spring Drive is beautiful, a must-see. So step away from your kitchen. Enjoy a free dinner tonight at one of my very favorite places, the Fox and Hounds. It's foxandhoundsrestaurant.com, the famous Fox and Hounds.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft grace zone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft grace zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Fleet Farm is your one-stop shop to get your yard spring ready. Find everything you need and more from our wide selection of lawn care goods. Going on now, get 5 bags of superior colored mulch for just $10. Plus, the garden center is now open. Stop in to get your garden ready with our nursery quality plants. Look forward to green grass and a fresh garden with help from Fleet Farm, your lawn and garden headquarters.
Traffic and weather. All right, Debbie, how we doing?
We're not doing too bad. Where things are a little bit tight along southbound 43, 13 minutes to get from Brown Deer Road into downtown. Most of that happening right around the Capitol Drive area. Northbound side also slowing down from about, I would say, Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up past Keefe. We do have some issues on 175 southbound, the ramp to get onto westbound 94 in the Stadium interchange. We have some debris on that ramp, so they might have to close a lane or two to try and fix that. And then, of course, we've got our delays through the Zoo interchange onto the southbound bypass. Starts to open up right around Lincoln. And while you're out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, give us a call on the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line. It's 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, isolated wintry mix, a low of 36. Tomorrow, maybe a little more snow and rain, a high of 50. On Wednesday, mostly sunny, a high of 48. Thursday, cloudy, a high of 58. And on Friday, rain late in the day, a high of 59. It's currently 45 degrees.
Now batting for the Brewers Radio Network, play-by-play announcer Lane Grindle.
High fly ball, deep right field. Rowdy Tellez has done it again.
On Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
Our guy Lane Grindle is with us. Good afternoon, Lane.
What is going on? Great to be with you this afternoon.
Hey, I want to ask you about Aaron Rodgers. Kind of a broader question. Not so much about Rodgers, I guess, but you were a part of the Brewers organization when Josh Hader got traded. Kind of the face of the team, very popular player, very talented player. What's it like? And I'm now referring to Aaron Rodgers. When a guy who's been the face of the team and has really been the franchise for a long time suddenly is no longer a part of the locker room, what's that adjustment like?
Yeah, it's different. I don't think there's any way you can get around that. I think the situations are certainly different. Josh was a closer and an all-time great at that, but Aaron Rodgers has done it for longer, and he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, obviously. So they are a little different situations in terms of what the impact probably is around the team, but it was different. Josh was a big part of the success the Brewers had over those handful of years, and so it took a little bit to get used to it. And you eventually wake up and say, everybody's got a job to do. You got to go do your job and do it the best that you can, and you rally around the people that are in your clubhouse, or in the NFL's case, the locker room. And I think that's what you'll probably see the Packers do. I think with this, it's been so drawn out for so long. Just the fact that you can finally get some closure on it will be healthy for everybody.
Yeah, I think that's right, Lane. Here, the timing of it all, right? The Hader trade appeared more stunning, like, whoa, where did that come from? Though his long-term future was in question. Rodgers' long-term future always seems to be in question, including still today. But the off-season nature, it probably is a little bit easier to get, time in between when you have to take the field versus when the deal was done.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment as well, for sure. Yeah, I mean, to me, they're different. You knew probably with Josh that at some point he was going to get moved. That's how the business of baseball works, especially with relievers, because of the, if we were going to compare it to football, relievers are a little bit like running backs in the NFL. The window's a little shorter typically. And so you don't always see relievers get that big contract from the team they come up with. A lot of times they get moved somewhere at some point in the last 2 years of their arbitration, and then they get the big deal when they finally get to free agency if they've been able to stay healthy enough, and you hope for those guys' sake that that's been the case. But it's certainly interesting. I was in the clubhouse when the Rodgers deal went down today, and so I was like one of the last people to find out about it, and people were buzzing about it, and I'm like, what am I missing here? And then I finally found out that the deal became official today.
Well, hey, you made it back from a long road trip, which is great. I know Levering ate some grasshoppers on a TV broadcast. Did you not go down that path, Lane?
I didn't. He offered me the grasshoppers. I punted at that opportunity. I had no real interest, like none at all. Now, don't play it slow here, Greg. You got a chance to take in some crab last night that Levering brought back from Seattle as well. So he was feeding everybody.
So that was
he was feeding you crab. He was offering me crickets.
Yeah, no, I think that worked out. That worked out pretty well. I thought that was a little risky to buy crab from the Pike's Place Fish Market and then carry it on the team plane home. I thought that was a bit of a risky move.
It was a very aggressive move. That's a year 9 move. I don't know if it's a year 8 move for me. This is my 8th year. It's year 9 for Levering, so I think that was a year 9 move.
Hey, you mentioned the bullpen lane here. It, by and large, been very good here for the Brewers. A big-time hiccup yesterday, and then roster moves associated. One more of an injury, one just kind of a DFA. Overall, where do you think this bullpen is, and is Craig still trying to figure some things out?
Well, I think every team in baseball is probably still with some roles that are being defined. What those roles are might vary from team to team, but the one thing the Brewers have is they know they got the 9th inning figured out with Devin Williams, and I think they have a lot of confidence in the 7th or 8th inning, depending on how the game is unfolding, in Peter Strzelecki, because he's been outstanding. And Hobie Milner's following up a great season last year and giving them a great left-handed option that they can use for leverage outs late. The Bush hiccup yesterday was disappointing, no doubt. He goes on the injured list today. And Craig Counsell talked about Javi Guerra today, and I thought he had a good answer where he said, look, we really liked the arm. And we liked the arm in spring training. We still really like the arm. But it's hard to develop at the major league level because we're looking for results, and they hadn't been there. And if Javi Guerra had options, the Brewers unquestionably would have optioned him and let him go down and try to work on some things, but he didn't have that ability. They had to designate him for assignment to make room for somebody else. So we'll see if Jake Cousins can find that 2021 form. The slider's still big. It still plays. If he can command the fastball, I think he's a guy I still believe that can have a lot of success at this level and be a leverage guy for the Brewers before it's all said and done. And another lefty's always a good thing. And so bringing Alex Claudio back up after a couple of years away from the organization, a guy that everybody's familiar with and pretty popular guy in the clubhouse as well, I think is another nice move.
Brewers broadcaster Lane Grindle. We love when you're with us on Mondays, Lane. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. I really enjoyed the track talk before I came on as well. I'm a fellow track guy. I was impressed with Greg's accomplishments.
Yeah, go to my Twitter and check out the picture. It's pretty amazing, Greg with hair.
1996 state semifinal in the 400-meter dash. I did not know the picture existed.
What was your time? What was your time in the quarter mile?
So it was a very windy day that day, and I think I qualified for finals with like a 50.6. I won regionals and sectionals with like a 50.2.
Don't apologize for that. That's really good. That's good.
Times went down in college, so that's for sure. It seems like kids are faster these days than they were back then.
Better than me. My times went up in college.
Oh.
So.
Lane Grindle, have a good call.
Oh, there you go. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
It is 4:26 at WTMJ. The Annex Wealth Management Market Update today. Mixed bag. The S&P 500 was up 4 points. The Dow was up 67. NASDAQ dropped 35 points. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference.
Hey, me again for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac, where the Spring Forward sales event is going on. It really is a great time to gear up for driving season and get more for your trade. You'll score enticing offers on the new Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC. Whatever's right for you, they have it for you. You can also check out the incredible value of a GM-certified pre-owned model. Hey, look, selection is expanding. New models are arriving daily. That means you can choose from one that's in stock today or reserve one that's coming, all while enjoying holidays' warm and genuine guest care. It is the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State. In fact, I'm one of them. I know from my own experience, you're going to be in great hands with Team Holiday on your side. Proud and grateful to be Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer based on combined total sales per 2022 Buick and GMC zone sales records. So find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Chevrolet Buick and GMC, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and online at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
Grandview buys homes. Hi, I'm Tom Delich here to tell you Grandview will buy your home in any condition. Wait a minute, you ask. What about water damage? Yes, Grandview will buy your home. Mold in the attic? Yes, we'll buy your home. Cracks in the foundation? Yes, Grandview will buy your home also. The fact is, we buy homes in any condition. Maybe your home hasn't been updated in 20 or 30 years. No problem. Grandview will buy your home. Or maybe your belongings are stacked up to the ceiling and you just need to move on. Grandview will buy your home too. Not only do we buy homes in any condition, you don't have to lift a finger to sell your home. We'll give you a fair cash offer in 48 hours and close on the day you choose. Then only take the belongings you want and leave the stress and the mess to us. The folks at Grandview understand your situation and will always treat you with dignity and respect. So sell your home as is today. Call the name you know and the name you trust. GrandviewHomes.com.
It's the Commercial Real Estate Minute, presented by CarW.com.
Investing in real estate is less science than it is art, especially in today's financing environment. With rising interest rates, changing debt requirements, and increasing volatility in the market, commercial real estate is still one of the most stable, long-term hedges against inflation. But getting the deal done now requires more creativity than ever, especially in sourcing capital where there are sensitivities to time. Traditional and non-traditional financing from national, regional, and local sources may not be adequate, and private funding may not be an option. Your lending and brokerage partners will help you evaluate your asset and explore all avenues for financing, including CMBS or mezzanine structures that diversify your offer and strengthen your deal. Knowledge and expertise, just like financing, comes from multiple sources. Leverage your commercial real estate partners now to secure your investment in the future.
For more commercial real estate market insights, visit CarW.com.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Social Security benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Unable to work due to health problems? Let Tayback help you get approved for the Social Security benefits you're entitled to. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure from QB1 to QB Done.
I'm Amy Taylor. Near tragedy at a railroad crossing in Wauwatosa.
I'm Greg Matzig. Still a couple hurdles to clear before the deal's official.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we do have some delays along southbound 41 starting at about Wisconsin Avenue all the way down to about Lincoln, where we have some construction going on. Back that up a step, also seeing delays from Silver Spring all the way to about Burleigh. Southbound 43 also slowing down from Silver Spring down past Hampton, and then again through the Marquette from about Kilbourne over the high-rise bridge. Watch out for some delays all the way past the KK River as well. And then we've also got an accident on 794 westbound, basically just north of Car Ferry. So basically what you're doing is you're going over the Hone Bridge, and that's technically westbound, but you're going northbound. That's where that accident is. There might be some lane closures with that. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, maybe a little wintry mix, a low of 36. Tomorrow, a high of 50. It's currently 44. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, it ends not with a bang, but with a whimper. After 18 seasons, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers have parted ways after the Packers and Jets agreed to a trade for the four-time MVP. Packers GM Brian Gutekunst says the time was right to get a deal done.
Obviously, Aaron's up there in age and has I don't know however many years he has. I think he's got some really good football left in him. But I think for us, we're really excited where Jordan can go. He needs to play, and having him sit another year, I think, would have really delayed kind of where we're going and what we're trying to build.
Greg breaks down the compensation in sports at 4:45.
Near tragedy in Wauwatosa this morning after a FedEx delivery truck was struck by a freight train. The crash happened on Walnut near Mayfair Road. TMJ4's Mary Jo Ola is on the scene.
They say that the FedEx truck driver was going westbound across the train tracks to the DPW lot here when the train hit them while going south. The delivery driver had minor injuries and was treated by the fire department. No workers in the train were hurt. Now, this is a private crossing with a stop sign and a couple of warning signs about the railroad, but there are no arms or lights at the intersection here.
Police and other crews have been on the scene investigating the crash.
Funding for a new public plaza in downtown Milwaukee has gotten the go-ahead from the mayor. Mayor Cavalier Johnson signing a resolution today approving funding for the plaza, which will be named in honor of a politician, jurist, and civil rights activist, Vel R. Phillips. She passed away in 2018. The plaza will be situated south of Wisconsin Avenue between 5th and Vel Phillips Avenue. The space is expected to be used for farmers markets, food trucks, and other community events.
Lots of speculation today among investors about the businesses that might benefit from the bankruptcy of Bed Bath & Beyond. Business reporter Jason Brooks has more.
If last-minute bidders don't emerge, Bed Bath & Beyond will soon start closing its 480 locations, and other retailers will be scrambling for shoppers left with one fewer option. An Oppenheimer analyst note says Williams-Sonoma, Lovesac, and Wayfair will capitalize on the opportunity to grow market share, while a Piper Sandler note leans towards the big box stores, with Target and Walmart the likely long-term beneficiaries, pointing out that's what happened when Toys R Us went under in 2017.
Bed Bath & Beyond has more than $5 billion in debt.
Will Giannis play tonight? Greg has the latest in sports up next.
Citing Unlimited News Time, 4:33.
Siding.
J&J Contractors.
It's not just the outside. The bathroom needs to be completely redone.
J&J Contractors. They do it all with top-of-the-line quality craftsmanship that's all custom or semi-custom. Set up a consultation today at their beautiful showroom in Greendale and find out what makes J&J Contractors different. Check out their reviews. Southeast Wisconsin loves J&J Contractors for their impeccable work and outstanding communication. Just Google J&J Contractors.
Who's hungry? Mark your calendar for April 22nd through the 30th for Lake Geneva Restaurant Week. This culinary adventure features dozens of the area's finest restaurants with exclusive menus and special pricing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. From casual cafes to elegant fine dining, the choices are endless as we celebrate Lake Geneva's amazing dining scene. Check out participating restaurants, menus, and all the tasty details at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for distinctive dining.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzek.
Well, the deal is done, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. However, trade compensation involving Aaron Rodgers has not yet been made final. Packers GM Brian Gutekunst addressing the media just moments ago.
But nothing's really been finalized yet, so until it does, if you guys, just bear with me, I'll go through that stuff with you at a later date, but right now we're still ironing some things out. But I appreciate the question.
Yeah, this was a design press conference for Brian Gutekunst as the NFL draft will begin on Thursday. As for the draft, it does influence where the Packers will pick this Rodgers compensation plan. They're going to do a pick swap here. The Packers had the number 15 pick. They'll flip that to the Jets in exchange for the number 13 pick. Packers also pick up the Jets' first second-round pick of the draft and a sixth-rounder. Conditional draft pick in 2024 will be coming Green Bay's way in exchange for Rodgers. It's currently a second-round pick. If Rodgers plays 65% of snaps, it will go to a first-round pick. Much more on this with Jason Wilde coming up in just a few minutes. Good news for the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis is on the floor in Miami, taking part in his typical pregame warm-up. It should be noted that Giannis hasn't participated in his normal pregame warm-up since Game 1. Game 1, Giannis was injured after roughly 10 minutes of play. Back contusion kept him out of games number 2 and 3. Game 4 tonight in Miami with the Bucks trailing 2-1. Will Giannis be on the floor? It does appear so, according to ESPN's Shams Charania.
We're hopeful he's there, and he'll be there, later on in the playoffs. But for non-Giannis lineup, stuff like that, non-Giannis minutes later on in the playoffs, this is good for us.
That's Bucks center Brooke Lopez. As for the Brewers, you can hear their game tonight on 94.5 ESPN with coverage beginning at 6:05. Brewers taking on the Tigers after dropping 2 of 3 to the Boston Red Sox. So the compensation plan is all laid out. There is a matter, John, I think, of the physical and certain things that will ultimately wipe this behemoth of a contract off of the Packers' books, which was another component to the story. Beyond draft compensation, what that looks like. It's a $60 million headache that is in part gone now for the Packers once this deal becomes official. But it looks like it should all be wrapped up before the draft begins on Thursday night.
All right, Jason Wilde and Tausch with us live up next.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, especially during our great outdoor event. Right now, get unbeatable deals on a variety of outdoor essentials, like Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action. It prevents crabgrass, kills weeds, and feeds your lawn all in one bag. Right now, Triple Action is on sale for $86.99 with up to 12,000 square feet of coverage. Plus, Blaine's Rewards members get a free $15 Farm and Fleet gift card with $100 spent on Scott's products. Shop our new Blaine's Farm and Fleet store in Grafton, located at 1771 Wisconsin Avenue.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, a group of doctors I trusted with my knee surgery. The pain was real and options were important. My experience with each doctor was thorough, the appointments were timely, always close and easy access to the building. My mom felt the same way, I know, when she went there for her physical therapy appointments at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I trusted their surgical team for my knee surgery, and I know they'll take care of you the way they did my mom and me. Make an appointment at orthowisconsin.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
It appears that the Aaron Rodgers trade is very close to being completed. Compensations being reported by different outlets. Jason Wilde and Tausch, 9 a.m. to noon on ESPN Milwaukee, is with us on the Old National Bank Talk and Text line. All right, Wilde, what's your initial takeaway from what we know at this point?
Yeah, they'll have the deal done by Thursday when the first round begins. Aaron Rodgers does have to take a physical. That is why Brian Gutekunst told us that this has to be done tomorrow, because they have to have that physical where Rodgers passes it and is ready to go. And if you remember a long time ago, Ron Wolf traded for Brett Favre, and Brett Favre actually flunked his physical with the Packers after his 30 feet of intestine were removed and everything else. And Ron Wolf told him, pass him anyway. I want the guy. We're making the trade. So even if Aaron Rodgers has a sore toe or something else, I think that's just a formality. It was interesting to listen to Greg's report, though, because, I heard him say wiping this behemoth of a contract off their books. And there's no doubt that they are removing a big encumbrance of their salary cap. I do think it's worth pointing out that in successive off seasons, Brian Gutekunst has traded away 2 players that he believes are Pro Football Hall of Famers. Devontae Adams last year, now Aaron Rodgers in the coming days. And so for whatever cap savings and whatever opportunity it creates for Jordan Love, he didn't want to admit that they're rebuilding. Maybe he doesn't see it that way. But it's hard to imagine that the same team that was on the verge of a Super Bowl, losing to Tom Brady in the NFC Championship game in January of 2021, now has traded away 2 Hall of Fame players and are whatever you want to say they are right now as a team.
Jason, my biggest takeaway from the reported compensation plan is that it has nothing to do with what happens to Rodgers after the upcoming season. It only based upon how many snaps he plays this season, if indeed Adam Schefter's report is accurate. Did that surprise you in any way?
No, I thought that the Jets would have to give up their search for 2025 give back in case Rodgers didn't play in 2024. Obviously, it would have been very hard to include some sort of 2024 trade because Rodgers might not decide whether he's playing in 2024 until after the 2024 draft. So this, to me, I thought that would be one of the things that the Jets would have to compromise on. Just like they compromised, as Tausch and I were talking about this morning, I just never thought they were going to be able to put the restriction on the first-round pick of they have to make it to the AFC Championship game in order for it to go from a second to a first. I always thought Brian Gutekunst would have to give in on demanding a flat-out, unconditional first-round pick in 2024. He obviously did. He does move up 2 slots with this pick swap that Mark Tauscher has been talking about for months, and now it's come to fruition from 15 to 13. But I always thought that they would have to lessen the requirements to make that 2024 second-round pick a first-round pick, and that's exactly what they're doing. Again, Adam had it that it would be Rodgers has to play 69% of the snaps this coming season in order for it to become a first-round pick. That protects the Jets that if Rodgers at age 39, turning 40 on December 2nd, suffers a major injury in Week 5, they don't have to give up a super high first-round pick for a guy that's not playing for them much this season.
Hey, Wildy, quickly, so we have a poll question up. Now that he's been traded, finish this sentence. I am happy or I am sad. Those are the only 2 choices. 77% say happy. What's been the sentiment by and large? I know it's hard to generalize on Wildy and Tausch.
Yeah, I think that's consistent. I mean, it's been over 70% every time we've had any sort of poll regarding him and your eagerness for him to be gone. Again, going back to Greg's phrase, I think that there are a lot of people that feel that way, that they have rid themselves. And one of the questions that I asked Brian Gutekunst that I've been waiting to ask him, I didn't think I was going to ask him it today because I didn't think the trade was going to happen today, was you said to us during the bye week that from the moment you walked into this building, you were taught that whatever comes with a great quarterback, it's worth it. And I asked him if it ever became not worth it to him. And I do think for fans, and I do think for Goody, if he's being honest, that they put up with a lot of stuff that they didn't like about Aaron Rodgers because they were winning. And last year they didn't win. And that opened this opportunity. I will be very surprised if he does not play extremely well for the Jets. I just, again, have said this many times in the past several weeks. The level of celebration of getting rid of one of the greatest players in your franchise's history, I don't understand that, but it has happened, and now we'll see what happens to this organization moving forward.
Jason Wilde, you can check out Wilde and Tausch, 9 a.m. to noon on ESPN Milwaukee. Jason, always great perspective. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
4:45 at WTMJ, the Milwaukee Film Festival going on right now. The CEO is with us live in the studio. Up next.
Best record in the league?
With their 58th win of the season.
Check. Number 1 seed?
As the Bucks have clinched the number 1 overall seed going into the playoffs.
Check. Next up, another championship.
And the road to the NBA title will go through the Cream City of Milwaukee.
Listen to the Bucks tear through the playoffs right here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. Challenges in the economy, you bet. And it seems like they just keep on coming. If you're looking for a steady hand during times like these, you'll get that with Annex Wealth Management. It's time to have an investment and retirement plan that's well-crafted, efficient, and focused on your goals. I've been with Annex for more than a decade, and they are the real deal. They're a fiduciary all of the time, not just some of the time. They're required to operate in your best interest. That means no commission products. They don't sell a thing. Their job at Annex is to provide excellence when it comes to investment and retirement planning, along with tax and estate planning. And I've used all those different part of their deal. Annex is local, independent, with a focus on helping you achieve the retirement you desire. Start the conversation with Annex. It only takes a couple of minutes. Do what we did years ago. Go to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button. It's that simple. Locations throughout southeast Wisconsin, Florida, northern Illinois, or always as close as your computer. The company I trust is Annex. Annex Wealth Management. Check them out at annexwealth.com.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Your pain is likely due to a wear and tear process called osteoarthritis. Now, when you combine that with being a little overweight or not being as active as you'd like to be, you get into a downward pain spiral. At Rejuvenex, we control pain by precisely targeting and treating the areas where your pain lives, like shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, with our powerful FDA-approved treatments that cushion and lubricate the affected areas to deliver long-lasting pain relief. Now, like maintenance on a car, to maintain your relief, our team of physicians will follow up with you roughly every 6 to 18 months. My name is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics. Rejuvenex is in-network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life. It's pain relief, really.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Traffic and weather sponsored by Debbie Lazaga. Hello, Deb.
I'm here to sponsor it. Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got. We have an accident on 41 northbound now at Blue Mound Road. It is off on the right shoulder. Just heads up with that. We've also got one on the northbound side of 794, just as you're getting onto the Hone Bridge. It is off on the right shoulder. Luckily, volume is relatively light on the span itself, so it's not going to slow you down too much. Just a little bit of a distraction. Westbound 94, watch for the delays right out of the Marquette all the way through the stadium interchange. Once you make it to Mitchell Boulevard, you're good to go all the way through the zoo. Southbound on 41 is going to be slow from about Blue Mound Road all the way through the zoo interchange onto 894 southbound, where they're still dealing with this construction, takes out the left lane. But once you get to Lincoln Avenue, it opens right up. And BRI's on the roads. You can report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, a little bit of a wintry mix, a low of 36 degrees. Tomorrow, chance for a little more rain, a high of 50. On Wednesday, mostly sunny, a high of 48. On Thursday, partly cloudy, a high of 58. Friday, a little rain late in the day, a high of 59 degrees. In Milwaukee right now, it's 44. The Milwaukee Film Festival is returning for its 15th year. It's already returned. It's underway, been going on for a couple of days. Jonathan Jackson is the CEO, and he's with us live in the studio. Jonathan, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Love to talk movies.
15 years. This is amazing. It's such a gem for our city. What's the biggest evolution been in the 15 years?
Well, you know, I've been privileged, lucky to be here since the beginning, leading the organization. But I think the biggest was when we acquired the Oriental Theater. So the nonprofit Milwaukee Film, which puts on the Milwaukee Film Festival, we signed a 50-year lease to take over one of the great movie palaces in the world, the Oriental Theater, ran a fundraising campaign to restore it. And now, just this past April, it was actually listed on the National Historic Registry, which we're very proud of.
That's amazing.
I think it's really interesting to see the energy that the film festival is getting. And I would say that really, truly, the luminaries of Milwaukee's society are very involved. They are. They're very energized by the film festival. Why do you think that is? What is making it special?
My take on that is that there are so few places today where people of all different backgrounds, all walks of life, all places of the city convene together, convene around something that anybody, that is accessible. You know, it's affordable to go to the film festival. Everybody can go. And there's also content that anybody can like. There's a crazy silent film about a drunk lumberjack who chases beavers to a very serious documentary looking at the Montville Six and that murder trial in Green Bay. There's just a whole range of films you can see in the festival. It's fun, it's serious, and you're right. I mean, we were founded by Chris Abley, went on to become county executive of Milwaukee. I say he, cut his teeth as board chair of Milwaukee Film before doing that. It's a little bit of a joke. But we've had an incredible board. Our current board chair, Susan Michelet, is a rock star, in my opinion.
I'd agree with that.
But very much in love with the festival, and we're doing great this year. Ticket sales nearly 50% increased over last year. A number of sellouts, and
no COVID.
Yes.
Right?
Don't even say that word.
Sorry.
As somebody,
but you're back. You're back in person. It has to feel so
Big time.
good.
I mean, it's tears of joy. And what I have to say is, my single purpose is to smush people together indoors. And that kind of sucked for a few years running an arts organization that strived to do that. But we're back. We're proud. There's sellouts. And it's just that chemistry of 200 people in a packed house or 1,000 people in our main house packed together watching a movie that they wouldn't see otherwise. And then the chemistry that happens afterward, the conversations, the stars, the celebrities, and the people who come into town. It's just an exciting atmosphere you can only find during the Milwaukee Film Festival.
So almost 300 movies, 51 countries in the Oriental, Time Cinema, the Avalon. Do you have a favorite film genre?
Personally, I mean, I love European cinema. I love European art cinema. I can be a little snob myself, a little snobbish, but, just want to stress that the festival, we have something for everything, and we're really excited about our closing night movie this year. It's called A Disturbance in the Force, and this happens on May 4th, happens to be closing night. Any Star Wars fans may know that May 4th, may the 4th be with you. Well, A Disturbance in the Force is a documentary about a little-known, little-seen thing that George Lucas wants destroyed and forgotten from memory. It was a holiday Star Wars special that was filmed in the 70s that was a train wreck. It was on CBS, and George Lucas has tried to prevent it from ever being seen again. And this documentary tries to bring it back to light and showcase it, profiles it, interviews all the stars, and it's just a riot. And anyone who's into Star Wars, and I think there are a few of those people around here, this is must-see. That's closing night on May the 4th. Be with you.
And tonight are you there, God, It's Me, Margaret? Do you screen the more commercial films?
It's everything.
It's everything.
We really screen everything. Tonight, actually in about a half an hour, I think, Are You God There, It's Me, Margaret screens, and that's sold out. It's a film on standby, as we say, so maybe a few tickets will open up. But that's a big movie that'll be released in theaters a couple weeks later. There's several of those films that you can see first at the Milwaukee Film Festival.
mkefilm.org. That's the website, mkefilm.org. Tickets there, information there. I was on the website today. It's an absolutely incredible website. It's fun. It's interesting. mkefilm.org. Check it out. There's something for everyone there. You put it perfectly, Jonathan. Jonathan Jackson is the CEO of Milwaukee Film. It's so good to have you here, Jonathan. It's so good not to talk Aaron Rodgers for a couple of minutes.
We thank you for that.
I mean, if you want to weigh in, you can.
Well, as a diehard Cleveland Browns fan, I'm excited for it to flip and for the Packers to be the sad team for a little while.
Oh, Jonathan.
Wah, wah.
Thank you. It's always good to see you, Jonathan. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.
It is 4:55 at WTMJ. Business headlines up next.
It's WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Sister Bay Furniture. Wisconsin weather can be tough on all of us. A snowy gray morning can quickly evolve into a bright, warm afternoon, inviting you to fire up the grill and enjoy some quality outdoor time. Sister Bay Furniture is premium, high-quality outdoor furniture, built in Wisconsin, built for Wisconsin. built from premium and sustainable materials. Sister Bay designs and builds patio furniture to survive years of Wisconsin weather. That's commercial-grade quality for your outdoor space. Customize your Sister Bay set. Pick from several different styles and colors to fit your unique outdoor space. Need professional help? Sister Bay Furniture offers a team of in-house design experts. They can help you plan and create the outdoor space of your dreams. Don't wait until the next beautiful day this year. Get out to their showroom today. It's located in Sussex on Executive Drive, or visit their website, sisterbayfurniture.com, to shop the entire selection. Sister Bay Furniture, built in Wisconsin for Wisconsin.
Business headlines. Sari Lusk is at the Milwaukee Business Journal.
A new firm called Land by Label Development wants to redevelop the site of DeSalvo's restaurant in Cudahy with an apartment building. The southwest corner of Packard and Layton Avenues could see about 80 units, plus commercial space on the ground floor. All remaining Bed Bath & Beyond stores are expected to close as the company enters bankruptcy unless the home goods retailer sells its assets through an auction. The company now has Wisconsin stores under the Bed Bath & Beyond and Bye Bye Baby banners. And Cream City Social Eatery on Center Street in Milwaukee starts its soft opening. The restaurant's menu is designed by a rotating lineup of local chefs. I'm Sari Lusk with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Business headlines sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
For 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has set the standard for excellence in hospitality. Its reputation for offering impeccable service and luxurious accommodations is simply unmatched. For your next getaway, pamper yourself with a stay at the Pfister Hotel. Enjoy an evening of fine dining at its classic restaurant, Mason Street Grill. Unwind with a skin, body, or hair treatment at the Pfister Well Spa and Salon. Take in live music with a view from the 23rd floor at Blue Cocktail Lounge. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
St. Vincent de Paul Milwaukee seeks a hands-on facility manager to maintain our thrift store and meal program buildings, grounds, and equipment. In this full-time position with benefits, you'll oversee all facility contracted services and perform light maintenance and repairs to buildings and equipment. Technical training in basic electricity, plumbing, carpentry, and/or mechanical is required, and a degree is a plus. Go to svdpmilw.org to learn more and apply. Good luck.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Garage door broke. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis. Need a new garage door. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new CHI maintenance-free garage door. In fact, a recent study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%, ranking #1 among all home improvement projects. To see our huge selection of doors, come visit us at our Brookfield location or view our online showroom at GeisDoors.com. We have everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, call Geis at 262-784-4250 or visit us online at GeisDoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWannago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Traffic sponsored by Wettiger Compressor, the Midwest air compressor experts. Visit pressureisoff.biz.
Servicing world-class Wisconsin manufacturers for 9 decades. Contact Wettiger Compressor at pressureisoff.biz.
Wettiger Compressor.
Finally, he made his decision.
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
And now, the question is, when are they on the schedule? We are your home for breaking news. News Radio WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm John Merkier. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Your top story, QB2 is now QB new in Green Bay.
I'm Amy Taylor. Inches from tragedy in Wauwatosa.
I'm Greg Matzik. Giannis takes the floor for pregame warm-ups.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Northbound on 43. We've got some debris in Ozaukee County. This is just north of Highland. The right lane looks to be blocked, so just be careful as you're heading through that area while they get this thing cleared out of the way. Southbound side is going to be a little bit tight heading into the Marquette interchange from about Kilbourne and over the high-rise bridge. Westbound 94 slow from the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. And southbound on 41 slowing down from Blue Mount all the way down to Lincoln Avenue. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, an isolated wintry mix, a low of 36 degrees. Tomorrow, maybe a little more rain, a high of 50. It's currently 45. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a changing of the guard in Green Bay. The Packers and Jets have agreed to a trade that will send Aaron Rodgers to the Big Apple in exchange for some draft picks. Packers GM Brian Gutekunst, speaking earlier this afternoon, said trade talks heated up over the weekend.
I would say the last, 5, 6, 7 days we've been talking. We've been talking, much longer than that. But I think the last 5 or 6 days over the weekend and stuff that there's been a lot of conversation that helped us get to this point. But again, there's still things that need to be done. It's not finalized, but we do expect it to be done here in the next couple days.
Rodgers won 4 MVPs and also led the team to a victory in Super Bowl 45. Greg will have much more coming up in sports at 5:15.
Minor injuries are being reported after a freight train slammed into a FedEx truck this morning in Wauwatosa. Wauwatosa police say the crash happened near Mayfair Road in Walnut around 10 o'clock this morning. The truck was attempting to cross the tracks at Walnut when a freight train collided with the back half of it. Boxes could be seen scattered about for about a quarter of a mile following the crash. The driver of the vehicle reported minor injuries while nobody aboard the train was hurt. An investigation into the crash continues.
A couple of high-profile jobs in the world of cable news just opened up.
He's one of the most recognizable faces on Fox. Host Tucker Carlson is out. Political analyst Larry Sabato says it comes after a huge settlement over 2020 election lies.
It's hard to believe this wasn't tied to the $787 million judgment against Fox. That's a big penalty.
And soon after Fox made that announcement, CNN said host Don Lemon is out at that network. Syracuse University media professor Robert Thompson says Lemon's been in hot water since saying presidential hopeful Nikki Haley is past her prime.
Don Lemon, there's all kinds of stories and problems that he has had that could be a little more complex.
Matt Piper, CBS News.
More fallout following allegations of possible ethics violations by Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. The head of the Senate Finance Committee is calling for the Republican megadonor at the center of those concerns to cooperate with its request for more information. ABC's Justin Finch has more.
Senate Democrat and Finance Committee Chair Ron Wyden sending a letter to Republican billionaire and mega donor Harlan Crow, urging him to provide records about alleged decades worth of lavish vacations and other gifts to Justice Clarence Thomas and his wife Jenny. That request following reporting from ProPublica, the outlet publishing articles claiming Thomas did not include alleged gifts from Crow on his financial disclosure forms, nor Crow's purchase of properties, including Thomas's childhood home, where ProPublica reports Thomas's mother still lives rent-free. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Injury updates for the Bucks and Heat. Greg has it in sports up next.
Signing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 5:04.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Hello, baseball fans. Jeff Levering here, calling the action with the amazing team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And what a roster we have. Up to bat is Pella's award-winning Easy Slide innovation. Wow, what a smooth glide. Pella's sliding windows are incredibly easy to maneuver, wider than they are tall. They glide horizontally, letting in lots of natural light and unobstructed views. And that roll, it's a double play. Pella's premium roll screens operate like magic. Close the window and the screen rolls away completely out of sight. Now that is slick. On deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door. Just look at that slide. It's a perfect fit. Pella Reserve patio doors offer virtually unlimited sizes and custom colors, and they're backed up with the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Pella sure is one heck of a 5-tool player, and you can bring any number of their all-star innovations home for 0% for 48 months when you order by April 30th. Visit PellaWI.com for this amazing deal.
Certain restrictions apply.
Say cheese. Whether you like it with tomato soup or with bacon on sourdough, the cheese stands alone. The 10th annual Wisconsin Grilled Cheese Championship returns on Saturday, April 29th at the Live Memorial Pavilion at Harris Park in Dodgeville, Wisconsin. General admission is free. VIP tickets are $30 and will be available at the door. VIP tickets include a sandwich, drink, soup, and a goodie bag. Visit the Wisconsin Grilled Cheese Championship Facebook page for more information. It's the Wisconsin Grilled Cheese Championship on Saturday, April 29th in Dodgeville, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Here's Greg Matzik.
Well, Giannis is on the floor in Miami going through his pregame workout routine. It's a sign he will play tonight against the Heat. It's Game 4 of their Eastern Conference opening round playoff series. Heat forward guard Jimmy Butler listed as questionable on Miami's injury report. Heat lead the series 2-1. Our coverage gets underway in a little less than an hour here on WTMJ. Packers finalizing trade compensation for Aaron Rodgers with the New York Jets. It includes a pick swap in the first round on Thursday night. Packers own pick number 15. The Jets own pick number 13. That'll flip-flop once the trade goes down. There are other draft picks as part of the compensation, which we'll detail coming up in just a few minutes. A conditional draft pick in 2024 also coming Green Bay's way. It's a second-rounder for now that could become a first-rounder if Rodgers plays more than 65% of snaps. And the Milwaukee Brewers take the field tonight at home against the Detroit Tigers. Coverage can be heard on 94.5 ESPN beginning at 6:05. Brewers drop 2 of 3 to the Red Sox over the weekend.
It's time for Extra Points, a sports commentary on Wisconsin's afternoon news. Here's Greg Matzik.
The Aaron Rodgers era is over in Green Bay. Or rather than look at the situation in black and white, I'll sum up my feelings as mixed. I'm in the camp that it is time for a new quarterback in Green Bay, and simultaneously appreciative and amazed at Rodgers' play over the last 15 seasons as a starter. Rodgers replaced a Hall of Fame quarterback and built a Hall of Fame resume of his own, and for that he is to be commended. Rodgers also agreed to a 3-year, $150 million contract after back-to-back MVP seasons and chose to punt on the voluntary portion of the Packers' offseason program, a slap in the face of general manager Brian Gutekunst. Rodgers continued to use the Pat McAfee show and post-game press conferences as a vehicle to undermine the Packers brass and coaching staff. He chose the playing field as his vehicle to show up his teammates he chose not to work with during the offseason. For that and more, it's time to move on. Rodgers wore out his welcome in Green Bay 3 years ago, but his MVP-caliber play was enough to keep him around. Once his play tapered off and public sentiment shifted, the Packers felt comfortable making a deal. There's a new quarterback in Green Bay. His name is Jordan Love. His time to shine after 3 years is now. Only in a few years from now will we understand the true magnitude of the decision to trade Aaron Rodgers. But as of today, it feels right.
Extra Points is sponsored by All Right Home and Remodeling. When you want it done right, call All Right.
I'm Randy Miller.
No, you're not. I'm Randy Miller, owner of All Right Home and Remodeling.
I'm DJ.
Someday you might be the owner of All Right.
Like you and Daddy?
You'll have to learn that our family business is about more than just our family.
Do it right, call All Right.
Yes, but doing things right also means giving back.
When you want it all right, you call All Right. All Right, so many miles away.
The long winter is over, and April's in the sky. That means heavy showers are on our way. This is Jim Griffin. We've got you covered with spectacular spring service specials. We'll change your oil, inspect and rotate your tires, check the battery and air filter, give it a complete multi-point inspection, check your AC or your heat, even change your wiper blades, all for $129.95. Be ready for the roads when you take advantage of the spectacular spring service specials good at all 5 Griffin dealerships.
It will be an evening of nonstop laughter with the Latin Kings of Comedy, featuring Paul Rodriguez.
The only good thing about getting old is that now I can sit and watch television, and I know what all those pharmaceuticals are for.
For one night only, Friday, May 5th, 8 p.m. at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
If you're going to get married, guys, go home and see her mother. Get a good look at the future. And you ladies go see his father. Find out where that belt is going to be.
Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. It's the Latin Kings of Comedy, featuring Paul Rodriguez. Friday, May 5th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Must be 21 to attend show.
If you were offered a guaranteed cash prize, would you take the offer or would you risk it to possibly win more? It's Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells Take It or Leave It. On April 29th, you could be chosen to play the Take It or Leave It game, where you could be one of several participants to have the opportunity to pick a case containing up to $100,000 in cash. It's the Take It or Leave It game, April 29th at Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells.
See Ho Chunk Gaming representative for more details.
I just learned Discover credit cards do something awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you earned. Doubled. See terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Grandview Homes will buy your home as is today. It doesn't matter what condition it's in. We'll give you a fair cash offer in 48 hours, and you have nothing to lose to try us out. With Grandview, you don't need to fix your home to sell it. Call or visit grandviewhomes.com.
What's better than the look and feel of real leather? The amazing prices at Steinhafels.
A big anniversary diamond is one twice as big as the one in her engagement ring.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's John McCure.
All right, Amy Taylor's here, in for Sandy Max. Greg Matzik is here, good thing, on this Aaron Rodgers day. Debbie Lozka's here, and Adam Roberts is producing the show. So news broke about 2 hours ago, almost exactly 2 hours ago, that terms have been reached between the Jets and the Packers to send Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. The basic gist is this: the Packers move up a couple of picks in the first round. The Packers gain a second-round pick. This is all in this year's draft. We send our fifth-round pick to them. We get their sixth-round pick back. And then in next year's draft, the Packers get a second-round pick. And if Rodgers plays 65% of the time, that elevates to a first-round pick. I am stunned. And we've been talking about this for a very long time, and the numbers of those people who are happy to see Rodgers go are higher than they have been the last 2 months. And they've been high the last 2 months. Our Twitter poll, you can find it on my Twitter feed, John Mercure, is now that Rodgers is going to be gone, are you happy or sad? 80% say happy.
Will there be as much winning? I mean, this is going to be
we'll find out.
For the Packers.
Well, he hasn't done much winning in the big games
that's
lately.
true. What was their record, Greg?
8-9 last season.
Yeah.
People want to forget that Aaron played like crap and they had a sub 500 record.
He had a chance to win.
Right? Do you want to pay $60 million for that?
No,
Like,
I mean,
just
I
don't know.
personally don't.
He plays well,
Right.
we get in the playoffs.
Right.
And he didn't.
Then he craps the bed against Detroit at home.
And it wasn't
Plus
the first time.
The attitude problem.
Well, there's that, too.
Yeah, time to get him out of here.
Yeah.
I do find myself feeling a little bit different than I did. I've been the guy that's been like, get him out of here. I'm ready to be done. I still am glad that he's going to be gone. But I am a little sad. I mean, he won 4 MVPs wearing the green and gold.
I mean, it's
he
an
won
era.
a Super Bowl.
He's an iconic, or is? How do you think? What do you think?
Hall of Famer.
So Twitter will tell you that you have to be one-sided on this, right? That you have to be either celebratory or down in the dumps. And I'm in between. I can recognize his brilliant play, taking over for Brett Favre in an impossible situation and what he did, and also recognize that it's time to move on. I do think his play went downhill, and he led the team to a sub-500 record. Couldn't get over the hump like he had back a little over a decade ago and getting to the Super Bowl. And after he got his big contract, he totally crapped on the Packers.
It's just so rough when you say, I don't want to play here anymore to a team and a state. You know, it's like, okay, bud, we don't want you either, right?
Yeah, and I think public sentiment shifted to the Packers, feeling comfortable shopping him and even getting the idea of a trade out. I disagree with Jason Wilde. I still think the most eye-opening thing to me about the trade compensation is that there's nothing aside of 65% of snaps that converts a second-round pick to a first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers. No stats, no playing in 2025, nothing about playoffs or anything like that. Just 65% of the snaps next year, and a second-round pick becomes a first-round pick for the Packers in 2024.
And if he's not hurt, that happens.
Does.
That clearly will happen.
That's an eye-opener to me.
Even if he's injured for part of the year, he may play 65%. That's a pretty low threshold.
I thought so, too.
To go from 2 to 1. It's 5:15 at WTMJ. We're going to change gears up next. New Berlin West prom photos. The kids vote and decide to take the prom photos not in New Berlin, but in downtown Milwaukee at the Public Museum, and there is outrage. Were those kids safe? Should they have been in Milwaukee? And a couple of bad crashes over the weekend, which leads us once again to ask, is it safe to drive in Milwaukee? Should we come into Milwaukee if you live in the suburbs? That's the conversation up next on WTMJ.
The NBA playoffs are finally here.
Drives in on Giannis, puts the shot up, rejected by Giannis on the second jump.
And the quest for a championship starts on Bucks Talk with Justin Garcia.
He's been their best three-point shooter so far. He's just found his niche.
Every series right here. And it starts in round one when the Bucks try to take down the Miami Heat.
Punishing dunk from the Greek Freak. Take that.
You can listen live throughout the playoffs right here on WTMJ.
Hey, my wife Michelle and I are taking a beautiful, incredible holiday trip coming up later this year. I'd love for you to be with us. We are going to New York City. Festive and fun. New York City decked out for the holidays the first week in December, so you're back in time to get all ready for Christmas. This is going to be incredible. An amazing itinerary. I'd love for you to be with us. A Rockettes holiday show at historic Radio City Music Hall. The world-famous Rockefeller Christmas tree. We'll walk to dinner and a show on Broadway. Take a ferry cruise of New York Harbor and the Statue of Liberty. Stunning Central Park. There will be lots of holiday cheer, time for Christmas shopping. I'd love for you to be with us. It's New York City this December. Send me an email, and I'll send you one of our beautiful brochures. I'll shoot it right off to you tonight. Send me an email, john.mercure@WTMJ.com, john.mercure@WTMJ.com. Our awesome hotels right in the heart of Times Square, easy walking distance to all the things that make New York so special. Let me get you the information. I'd love for you to consider coming with us. Send me an email, john.mercure, MERCURE @WTMJ.com, john.mercure@WTMJ.com. Christmas this December in New York City. Won't you come with us?
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Traffic is brought to you by the senior real estate specialists at Bruce'sTeam.com, with you every step of the way. From downsizing to selling the long-time home, the senior real estate specialists at Bruce's Team are with you every step of the way. 262-242-6177.
Traffic and weather. Debbie Lazaga, hey there.
Hey there. We've got some delays with a bit of construction going on 894 southbound, basically slowing down right at the Zoo interchange down past Lincoln Avenue. We have also got an accident northbound on 41 just at the end of the ramp from Blue Mound Road. It's off on the right shoulder, so heads up with that. East and westbound 94 still looking a little bit tight. Eastbound's actually okay through the stadium. A little bit further west is where you're seeing those delays. And then on the westbound side, slowing down from 35th Street to about Mitchell Boulevard. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, isolated wintry mix, a low of 36 degrees. Tomorrow, wintry mix, a high of 50 inland. On Wednesday, mostly sunny, 48. On Thursday, partly cloudy, a high of 58. On Friday, partly sunny, a high of 59 degrees. In Milwaukee right now, it is 46 degrees. A couple of stories that I want to tie together here. So let's start in New Berlin, where New Berlin West High School, the students there decided through student government to take their pre-prom photos in downtown Milwaukee at the library, which is a beautiful building. So the students voted and decided that they wanted to take their photos. It's actually going to be this Friday at the library downtown.
They're like their pre-prom.
Their pre-prom.
Yeah.
Parents have found out about this, and they are upset about it. A large number of parents have been very outspoken now the past couple of days saying Milwaukee's not safe. We don't want our kids going into Milwaukee because of the crime, and we don't want our kids, one parent is quoted as saying, going to Milwaukee because of the reckless driving. We don't want them driving around. It's unsafe, and they're ticked. The school says, we don't decide where the photos are taken. This is driven by students. This is driven by parents. We don't decide, we don't endorse or sanction where pre-prom photos are taken.
Right, because it's not a school event.
Yep. But it was the student government sanctioned by the school that made this decision. So now parents are trying to figure out what to do. As of now, the photos are still scheduled to be taken downtown at the library, and parents are really, really upset. They say it's not safe. This weekend, there were 2 incidents of reckless driving where people died. And a woman was killed and 4 were injured when a reckless driver went through a light and slammed into this woman, and then their car slammed into people on the sidewalk who were badly injured. Another incident took place this weekend where a 74-year-old Milwaukee man is dead after a crash on Sunday morning. A high-speed car was traveling east on Capitol, collided with the victim's car. The victim's car was slammed into a traffic pole. The guy died. Reckless driving, out of control. Exhibit number 1 for the parents in New Berlin who say this is why we don't want our kids coming into town. My question is very simple. In your house, whether it's with kids or it's with you and your spouse or whoever, are you having serious reservations about coming into Milwaukee because of the danger level? The Old National Bank talk and text lines 855-616-1620.
This is a very frustrating problem for the city of Milwaukee to have because overall violent crime and property crime have fallen just in 2022. This was a news conference that the mayor gave in April 19th. And he said homicides are down, aggravated assaults are down, but the increases in non-fatal shootings and carjackings are troubling. Those are disturbing. And I think, you have people in the suburbs saying, is it worth the risk to travel in? And the party bus shooting, remember that? The people that came from Green Bay. I think it's a legitimate concern.
Okay, so do you have fear coming into the city? Do you not come into the city because of this?
I have fear coming into the city. I do. And you and I were just talking about something we're doing down here downtown, and I'm thinking, I got to walk 5 blocks alone, and I'm nervous about it. And I'm trying to strategize. What should I do? Should I Uber over there, park one place, Uber 5 blocks? I'm not kidding.
So at our old location on Capitol Drive, I was nervous all the time, and I didn't like it, and I didn't feel comfortable. Now we're downtown inside the avenue, and it's close to the interstate. So I take the interstate in from Menominee Falls, and I exit, and then I don't have to go a couple blocks.
And that's a relief.
And so it's a relief, and I feel okay. But in my neighborhood where I live, I routinely hear from people. I just talked to a woman about a month ago, and she will not come into Milwaukee for dinner, to go to Fiserv Forum, to go to the Rep.
Listen,
she is not doing it.
One of my children's classmates was shot in that shooting at Fiserv last year in the chest. She was caught in the crossfire outside the Deer District. So that is my suburban child's classmate caught in gang crossfire shooting outside of Bucks basketball game. So it is, as a parent, as a person, it's very concerning. And I get how these parents are worried about it.
Folks have asked me what I like most about being at the Avenue. And I love the history of Radio City on Capitol Drive. And Amy, you kind of grew up in your career there. John, you did as well. So did
Absolutely.
I. First job out of college, right? But that's all that I miss about it, right? The history and kind of where my career started and where we all kind of grew up as broadcasters. But it was taking life into your own hands driving to work. Your head was on a swivel.
Nobody really stopped at the lights, right?
Well,
it was
the red light was a recommendation.
It's just a suggestion.
Right? But I just can't tell you how many times driving home you just see something that you didn't see the day prior. And
my friend was shot at on that street. Yes.
It was a mess. So to John's point, we're on the freeway, the bulk of the drive into downtown. You get off, you park at the parking garage, and all good. And I still feel safe downtown in Milwaukee.
I do too.
In most places, right? There's some places I'm just not going to go.
No, but I still go to dinner. I'm still coming to the Pabst. I'm still going to dinner downtown.
Still down by the lake.
Still going to the art museum.
Having said that, I'm still coming, but I know a lot of people that aren't.
Oh, I do too.
I do know people.
Well, a
good
good sampling of that is on the text line. So let me read some of those. From the 920, we're 40 miles from Milwaukee. We will not come into the city for any reason with exclamation points. John, going into Milwaukee is not what it used to be. It's not worth the trip. There's plenty of good opportunities in places like Waukesha County. From the 262, I got tickets for a Brewers game on May 10th. A Brewers game out on the interstate. And I'm concerned I may not go. And it goes on and on and on like that from the text line. From the 414, I have extra awareness when I drive, really watching when I'm in the city. I drive speed limit and in the right lane. Extra double checks when going through intersections. I'd rather walk than drive downtown. From the 262, Oops, my screen just refreshed. I find myself avoiding Milwaukee when before I used to enjoy going out to eat on a Saturday night, but I want to know that I'm safe. I'm not going to get shot at, and my car will be there when I'm ready to leave. I cannot with full confidence travel into Milwaukee anymore, given its current state of anarchy. This is sad. It's where we are. It's sad. All
And
right.
as a country, too, I mean, we definitely, kids wake up and they hear about another shooting every day. So it's also a nationwide issue.
Well, that's why, to me, the reckless driving is a bigger issue here. There are
Agreed.
shootings everywhere, and it's terrible. In Milwaukee, the reckless driving is absolutely out of control. The two
Agreed.
examples that I shared. We'll continue to pick up this topic maybe another day. It is 5:26. Got to get to some business headlines. It's the Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Mixed bag, stocks mixed as earnings loom from big heavyweights. The S&P 500 was up 4 points today. The Dow was up 67. The NASDAQ was off 36 points. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning is a fee-only fiduciary. This is not the time to set it and forget it. Get help now. Visit AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button today. That is Annex Wealth Management.
527 at WTMJ. Hey, I got an idea for you. If you're watching a little ball tonight, maybe some hoops. How about a Palermo's in the oven and then on the dinner table? Boy, that sets you up for some sports viewing tonight, doesn't it? Absolutely. Biggest problem is trying to figure out which one to pick. Screamin' Sicilian, Connie's, Urban Pie, maybe the breakfast pizza. Breakfast for dinner. Sure, I've done it before. I think we all have. Try them all if you'd like. Put one in the oven tonight, and everybody is going to be happy. You can find Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza, wherever you like to shop, including Festival Foods, Piggly Wiggly, Sendik's, Woodman's, Pick and Save. Wherever you like to go, you will find it. Palermo's is the best in the business. Support local and eat great with Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
With inflation on the rise, Wisconsinites are hurting at the gas pump, at the grocery store, and to pay their bills. Now big city lobbyists are pushing for potentially massive property tax hikes, which would put a further burden on your already stretched thin wallet. They are coming after the local property tax levy freeze that has saved taxpayers more than $3.5 billion since 2011. Property taxes are already Wisconsin's most onerous tax, and their proposal would make it worse. Right now, you control your property tax increases by voting in local referenda. The big city lobbyists want to take away your control and allow property taxes to increase automatically without your approval. We must stop this attempt to thaw the property tax freeze. Call your legislator at 800-362-9472 and let them know you appreciate their efforts to protect your hard-earned money. Paid for by the Wisconsin Homeowners Alliance.
Easy Cater presents We've Got Your Back. Up Singers.
Backing you up.
So I ordered Mexican for my team at work.
With vegetarian options for Jerry.
Then I'm in a meeting and I remember Jerry's vegan.
Love the cheese.
So I text Easy Cater and they reply, no prob, we got this.
Gonna fix it for ya.
Sometimes I get vegetarian and vegan confused. Kind of like Austria and Australia.
Geography is not just strong suit.
Dietary needs? Easy Cater has your back with over 100,000 restaurants. Order 24/7 on easycater.com and know.
We got your back.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to three key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Milwaukee attorneys. 111 East Kilbourne Avenue, Suite 1650, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53202. CordellCordell.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Trees on the Move. From planning to planting, it's Trees on the Move. We all look forward to outdoor living in Wisconsin. From planning to planting and everything in between, now is the perfect time to let Trees on the Move beautify your landscape.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. Age is just a number, or is it?
I'm Amy Taylor. Bed, bath, and broke.
I'm Greg Matzik. Giannis, gonna give it a go.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we do have an accident on northbound 41 just north of Blue Mound Road off on the right shoulder, so heads up with that. Not seeing too many delays involved with that one. Southbound 41, though, is backing up a bit from about Hampton Avenue past Capitol, and then back on the brakes through the Zoo interchange down to about Lincoln Avenue. Southbound on 43, on and off the brakes a bit from Bender Road all the way to Capitol Drive. And then on the northbound side, seeing a little bit of a backup right around the North Avenue curve heading up towards Locust. I'm Debbie Lazigo with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic.
Tonight, isolated wintry mix, a low of 36. Tomorrow, wintry mix, a high of 50 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, it ends not with a bang, but with a whimper. After 18 seasons, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers have parted ways after the Packers and Jets agreed to a trade for the four-time MVP. Packers GM Brian Gutekunst says the time was right to get a deal done.
Obviously, Aaron's up there in age and has I don't know however many years he has. I think he's got some really good football left in him. But I think for us, we're really excited where Jordan can go. He needs to play, and having him sit another year, I think, would have really delayed kind of where we're going and what we're trying to build.
Greg has more coming up in sports.
Funding for a new public plaza in downtown Milwaukee has gotten the okay from Mayor Cavalier Johnson. Johnson signed a resolution today approving funding for the plaza, which will be named in honor of politician, jurist, and civil rights activist Val Phillips. She passed away in 2018. The plaza will be situated south of Wisconsin Avenue between 5th and Val Phillips Avenue. The space is expected to be used for farmers markets, food trucks, and other community events.
Lots of speculation among investors about the businesses that might benefit from the bankruptcy of Bed Bath & Beyond. Business reporter Jason Brooks.
If last-minute bidders don't emerge, Bed Bath & Beyond will soon start closing its 480 locations, and other retailers will be scrambling for shoppers left with one fewer option. An Oppenheimer analyst note says Williams-Sonoma, Lovesac, and Wayfair will capitalize on the opportunity to grow market share, while a Piper Sandler note leans towards the big box stores, with Target and Walmart the likely long-term beneficiaries, pointing out that's what happened when Toys R Us went under in 2017.
Bed Bath & Beyond has more than $5 billion in debt.
Senator Ron Johnson is reiterating his belief that a referendum should be used to determine abortion.
It's the delicate balance. How do you recognize a woman's right versus the rights of a child? And that's something I want we, the people, to decide collectively in that one-time single-issue referendum.
Johnson made those comments during a Milwaukee Press Club newsmaker luncheon today. Current state law prevents voters from changing laws via referendum. A constitutional amendment would be needed.
With more and more remote workers heading back into the office, a new study finds that many who are working from home are simply not getting feedback or help like they might face-to-face.
It's one of the first major studies to demonstrate the downside of remote work. Economists at Harvard and elsewhere find that while remote work helps senior workers, it hurts those lower on the totem pole in terms of the amount of feedback they receive. There's less supervision, and it turns out workers want to know if they did something correctly, how to improve, or even get the chance to run into a higher-up in the office to ask for a meeting. The authors say their findings show that the office plays a pretty large role in early career development. Matt Piper, CBS News.
What's the status of Giannis? About an hour from tip-off, Greg has the latest coming up in sports.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 5:33. News is sponsored by Holiday Automotive, Highway 23 in Fond du Lac. Holiday Automotive, it's worth the trip.
Greg Matzik here for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac, where the Spring Forward sales event is on. Holiday is the destination to gear up for driving season, while you get more Mazda for your money and more for your trade on the new or Mazda certified pre-owned car or crossover that's right for you. Choose one that's in stock today or reserve one that's on the way and be ready to drive inspired on the adventures ahead. With Team Holiday on your side, you'll be in the caring and capable hands of Wisconsin's top value Mazda dealer. It's #1 Mazda certified pre-owned dealer and the Badger State's only recipient of the prestigious Mazda President's Club Award, recognizing excellence and exceptional guest care. Accolades are per Mazda North American Operations, Performance, and Zone Sales Records for 2022. And they underscore why I and thousands of other drivers are fans of Holiday Mazda. I'm confident you will be too. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Mazda, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and online at holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for two, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 12.76 to 19-ounce package Bellatoria pizza, $5.99. 14-ounce ice cream or 3-count bars, Haagen-Dazs ice cream or ice cream bars, $3.99. 8.3 to 12-ounce package Frigo cheesehead, string cheese or cheese sticks, $3.99. 8-ounce chunk, 7 to 8-ounce sliced or 5.5 to 8-ounce shredded Tillamook chunk, sliced or shredded cheese, 2 for $6.
Hey, why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take them out at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience from Century Foods. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 26th.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Here's Greg Matzik.
Giannis Antetokounmpo in line to play tonight. He went through pregame warm-ups, and according to Mike Budenholzer, he will take the floor. Game 4 of the Bucks Heat playoff series tonight from Miami. This is what you play for. Down 2-1, trying to fight their way back in, according to Brooke Lopez.
Got to step up the challenge. You know, that's what's great about the playoffs. You know, it's high intensity. There's these big moments. And great challenges, you know, and we just individually and as a team have to step up to the challenge.
Coverage gets underway in about 25 minutes here on WTMJ. Brewers reliever Matt Bush placed on the 15-day injured list with right rotator cuff tendonitis. Right-handed pitcher Javi Guerra designated for assignment. The two combined to serve up 9 runs in the 8th inning of Sunday's loss to the Red Sox. Brewers host the Tigers tonight. You can hear the game on 94.5 ESPN with coverage beginning at about 6:05. And was there ever a moment Brian Gutekunst doubted whether a trade of Aaron Rodgers to the Jets would get done?
Oh, I had a few. No doubt. I mean, you know, it was a long process, but you have to be prepared for everything. So I think, you know, I felt it would be done all along, but at the same time, as long as it took, I think there were certainly times where you're kind of like, well, maybe it won't, and then how are we going to proceed going forward? And, but yeah, there were moments.
Gutekunst would not announce trade details, but ESPN's Adam Schefter broke about 3 o'clock this afternoon that the Packers would send Rodgers, the number 15 pick in the first round, and a 5th-round pick in this year's draft to the Jets in exchange for the number 13 overall pick, the Jets' first second-round pick, number 42 overall, and a conditional pick in 2024. The conditions are, if Rodgers plays less than 65% of the snaps this season for the Jets, it'll be a second-round pick, 65% or more, and it converts to a first-round pick. And, John, we do have Bucks basketball on the air tonight. We've got Brewers baseball on 94.5 ESPN. We are engaging our live stream and 101.7 The Truth, our sister station, for live coverage and programming here this evening. So a special edition of Wilde and Tausch from 6 to 7 tonight, and then a special edition of a show we don't really have a name for that Ben Brust and I will host and co-anchor together. So we're looking forward to that, 7 to 9. So hear us on 101.7 The Truth. We'll be live streaming on ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison, ESPN Beaver Dam, and 620 WTMJ.
I kind of like the sound of Matt's Bruh.
Matt's Bruh?
Matt's Bruh.
Bruh. Is Bruh so current right now?
Yeah, Bruh's so
It
current.
is. Yeah, Bruh's got to be in there somehow.
Matt's Bruh.
Matt's Bruh?
Matt's Bruh, beginning at 6 o'clock.
Well, working titles, yes,
Okay,
we'll work on it. But Wilde and Tausch, an established title from 6 to 7, Ben and I from 7 to 9.
All right, good stuff, Greg. I'll be checking that out for sure. It is 5:38 at WTMJ. Brian Nisnansky with us from the Weather Center up next.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Garage door broke. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis. Need a new garage door. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new CHI maintenance-free garage door. In fact, a recent study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%, ranking #1 among all home improvement projects. To see our huge selection of doors, come visit us at our Brookfield location or view our online showroom at geisdoors.com. We have everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, call Geis at 262-784-4250 or visit us online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
All right, let's bring in our friend meteorologist Brian Nisnansky. Brian, I know we've talked with you about Rodgers before, but now it appears that it's actually a done deal. And we put up a Twitter question that was very simple. Now that the Rodgers deal is done, are you, 1, happy, or are you 2, sad? Almost 80% say happy. Those are the only 2 choices. Where does Brian Nisnansky come down?
You know, I would say I'm probably happy, on the happy end of things. However, I will say I will pay, respects to Obviously, many awesome years with the Packers, but just this last year put me over the edge to make this a happy moment for me.
Yeah, I feel that way too. I don't want to be happy because I respect him a lot, and he won 4 MVPs, and it brought us a lot of great excitement. But man, it's time.
There's
going to
be a struggle for sure.
Yep.
I mean, it's a whole new ball game.
Yeah. And to think that, next year Jordan Love is going to be an MVP candidate, I think that's super unfair. I think, what was Rodgers his first year with what's quite frankly a very high-powered offense? You look at Rodgers' receivers his first year, and they went, 5-11? I don't remember. Was it that bad?
I don't know. Greg probably has a better handle on that. How rough was it for Rodgers his first year?
Sub 500, but he was over 3,500 yards passing and touchdown to interception. Like, you saw the makings of a good quarterback. It was not a great team around him right away.
Yeah. It's so I guess temper the expectations initially, but I'm just the drama, everything that went along with it. I'm ready to move on. And I think it was a business as far as a business goes. The players always say it's a business, and so do the coaches. Everything, it made sense. It really did. I mean, the price tag was super high. It seemed like we've given it so many tries, right, for it to get us over the edge to the Super Bowl again, and it just was heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's pretty well said. What's up with the weather? It's we're a good 10 to 15 degrees below average for our high this time of year, right?
Can we just keep talking Packers? I wish, No, we are. 58, I think, the average high for today, 58 or 59. And we briefly got up to 50 when we had the sunshine this morning, but we're back into the 40s. And guess what, guys? We have more of this kind of rain / Dippin' Dot sleet / snow mix possible tonight and into tomorrow morning. So what we saw on Saturday, we could maybe see a repeat again tonight and into tomorrow morning.
Hey, Niz, if I can ask, what's the outlook for Thursday? That's the day I'm playing 100 holes of golf for the Mac Fund in Saukville.
Good for you, man. Out at the bog again. Yeah, that's it. Honestly, I think Thursday might be the best day of the week next week. Yes, or this week.
Excellent.
We're looking at mostly sunny. 50s, if not close to 60 degrees. So much better than what we're dealing with now. No, it's not going to be like summer out there, but it will be much better than what we're dealing with these next couple days.
There you go, Matson.
I'll take that.
Yeah, for sure.
It was 38 and sleeting last year.
That's rough.
And it felt like 22 and sleeting. It was worse than it looked.
I bet.
Oh, man, it was rough.
that's a wide open course out there, too. You can get some pretty good wins.
Yeah.
It's looking better on Thursday. But the good thing you're not doing it tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning might be the similar case.
Good.
All right, meteorologist Brian Niznansky, thanks, Niz. We appreciate it.
Yeah, all right, guys. Big sports day, right? And then you got the Bucks going on. I'm ready for that one, too.
Here we go. Giannis is going to play, it sounds like. So things are looking up.
Is it, Greg, is it a must-win, would you say? I mean, it's got to be, right? Close to it. You go down 3-1.
Anytime you're in a position where you have to win 3 out of 4, you'd like to get that first one, right? So, and then you have opportunities for 2 of those final 3 games to be at home, which you like. So you're going to have to steal one on the road here at some point.
You got it. Go Bucks!
Go Bucks! All right, it's 5:44 at WTMJ. We'll talk a little Aaron Rodgers in a way that you can make a difference for kids in our community. That's up next on WTMJ. John Mercure here from my friends at Dave Drake Camp Heating. It's that time of year. You get a little bit of a taste of warmth on some days, then it's chilly like it is again today, so the heater's still going at home. The furnace is still fired up. But summer is on the way. It's going to happen. Before you know it, we'll be in the midst of graduation party season and time spent on the patio. Let Dave Drake Camp Heating make sure that you are ready to go. They make sure that I am ready to go every single year. Now's the time to call Dave Drake Camp to schedule that preseason tune-up. Be sure your home is ready for what lies ahead. Whether it's overdue maintenance, a repair you forgot to take care of last year, or the need for a total system overhaul, Dave Drake Camp Heating is the one to get it done for you. They've done all these things for me. Dave Drake Camp Heating, Lake Country's preferred Lennox premium dealer, is here and ready to help with healthy inventories, Lennox rebates, utility incentives, and possible tax credits now available. It's the time to check home comfort items off your spring to-do list. Let Dave Drake Camp Heating get it done for you. Call Dave Drake Camp Heating today. You'll see why I can always trust them with my family's comfort. Our house has never felt better. DaveDrakeCamp.com.
No, he's not going to put you in the lineup. But luckily, this is the closest you can get to the skipper himself.
I mean, Robin is the all-time Brewer for sure.
Greg Council, every Tuesday on Wisconsin's Morning News at 7:45.
Willie is, I think a player that, is capable of taking down some of the things that Robin has done.
This is Brewers 360, presented by Holiday Automotive and Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
So when you're in a pain spiral, will stem cells or bone marrow harvested from your body and then placed back into your body get you out of it? For those willing to go through a very expensive and not exactly easy process, which is not FDA approved, it might. But for those not willing to pay exorbitant amounts to go through all that, especially knowing that pain relief is not a sure thing, it's not an option. At Rejuvenex, we inject powerful, FDA-approved treatments that reduce inflammation and pain, while improving mobility in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees, with some patients experiencing relief for greater than 2 years before repeating the process. I'm Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics, and we are in-network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life. It's pain relief, really.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Visit GetRoto.net for all your sewer and drain cleanup needs.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Traffic and weather sponsored by Roto-Rooter, the sewer and drain experts you've trusted for over 85 years. How are we doing out there, Deb?
Well, we do have this accident now on 94 westbound, right on the Highway 83 off-ramp. Luckily, it's not on the main line, so you're good to go through there. And it is even off on the right shoulder of the ramp, so hopefully that won't be causing any kind of hiccups. Southbound on 41, still heavy, actually 894 technically, from the zoo down past Lincoln Avenue. It's because of that construction going on. Eastbound 94, a little tight from 84th Street to about 68th Street. And then on the westbound side, you're going to be slow right through the stadium interchange just a wee bit. It's really not too horribly bad. 41 itself from Appleton Avenue all the way down, it's looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, an isolated wintry mix, a low of 36 degrees. Tomorrow, wintry mix, a high of 50. On Wednesday, mostly sunny, a high of 48. Thursday, partly cloudy, a high of 58. On Friday, partly sunny, rain late in the day, a high of 59 degrees. In Milwaukee right now, it is 46 degrees. I want to talk a little Aaron Rodgers here before we make way for Bucks basketball. You've probably undoubtedly heard by now that Aaron Rodgers, the trade to the Jets, is very close to being finalized. Brian Gutekunst's pretty much admitting as much, saying that Rodgers has to pass a physical and a few other things have to take place, and then it will be a done deal. Adam Schefter reporting that this is how the compensation will shake out. The Packers will move from number 15 in the first round to number 13, so they move up 2 positions. They will also gain a second-round pick in the first round that they didn't have before. The Packers currently have a 5th-round draft pick. They will send that to the Jets in exchange for the Jets' 6th-round draft pick. And then on next year's draft, the Packers have a 2nd-round pick coming from the Jets. And if Aaron Rodgers plays more than 65% of the snaps, that 2nd round moves to a 1st round. So they will likely end up, barring an injury, having a 1st-round pick from the Jets in next year's draft. Greg, anything about the compensation package being reported? And it's just being reported, not confirmed by either team. Anything about that surprise you?
2 things stand out to me. Number one, no existing players, right? There is no wide receiver from the Jets, disgruntled wide receiver, veteran wide receiver coming over. No existing players. It's all draft compensation and Aaron Rodgers. That's it. Rodgers, the only existing player in the entire compensation plan. That doesn't mean the Jets won't move on from some other players who may or may not be worthy of a contract extension somewhere else or looking for a different place to play, but Aaron Rodgers, the only existing player in the package. And the other part of it is nothing is tied to Rodgers playing beyond this season. It's only tied to 65% of the snaps. So if he plays that, the Packers get a 1st-round pick in 2024. And what's not being reported on as much with regard to this trade is that this year's draft is not being looked at as one that's overly deep. In fact, you might see more first-round trades than you're used to seeing because people want to, parlay their picks and get more second-round, third-round value. Whereas next year's draft, and a lot of players have to commit, but more than likely is going to be looked at as more favorable to draft in the first round than this year.
Well, so is this good for the Packers? That has to be the question.
Well, I think it was very clear when Aaron came out of the darkness that his playing days in Green Bay were done. And I subscribe to the Packers have leverage because they have their quarterback, and the Jets don't. Nobody's bidding against the Jets, but they don't have the quarterback they are seeking.
So he walks in and he becomes that guy.
Exactly.
For the Jets.
Exactly. So to me, I don't look at the trade as, wow, the Packers really fleeced the Jets, or, man, the Jets got the better end of this deal. I think it's a pretty fair trade, but I am a little surprised that there's nothing tied to this deal beyond 2024. Nothing about Aaron playing in 2025. Nothing at all. And you could still end up with a first-round pick. So all this, and Aaron might be a Jet for, 4 months, 5 months?
It's kind of a growing pains for the Packers, for sure.
Yeah, there's no way the Packers are as good this year as they were last year, but that's not what this is about. This is about they have to move to the future, and they're going to lose Jordan Love as well if they didn't do that now.
And there is a domino effect, right? And the Packers, after Brett Favre, that first year, were not as good with Aaron Rodgers,
Right.
and they became a championship team.
Exactly.
Right? So, and that could happen here, certainly, but there is a domino effect, right? I mean, my gut feeling is that the Packers are not going to want to pay Mason Crosby to be their kicker anymore.
Yep.
Right? Do they need a championship caliber kicker? So
Who makes a lot of money.
I do wonder about that. So who else, right? So the unrestricted free agents that you look at that list and try and figure out who else could be gone looking for work, or the Packers just may choose not to pay.
All right, let's shift gears here because there's something really cool going on in a couple of days that I want to make sure that we talk about here and talk about often. The MAC Fund has this incredible event that they do. It's really, really unique. They only pick a handful of people, less than 20 people usually most years, who will golf 100 holes in one day. 100 holes of golf in one day. Greg Matzik is going to do that again this year. It's incredible. It's to raise money for the MAC Fund. It's to battle pediatric cancer, to research this despicable disease. That's what this is all about. So you will be golfing 100 holes, raising money for the MAC Fund. How are we doing that? You are bald, but maybe not for long.
Well, we're doing that with chiropractor visits and an adequate stretching routine and a hot tub. That's how physically I'll be able to get through 100 holes. But we are setting up a donation site. In fact, it's already up and running. My goal is to get to $7,500 raised, and right now we're at $5,750. So we talked about this in the 3 o'clock hour, and almost instantly we had a couple $100 raised, which is great. And we brought it up on Friday's program, and we raised over the weekend about $1,000. So I really appreciate folks kind of coming out and supporting a great cause, but I wanted to have a little skin in the game too to try and entice folks to maybe put $5, $10, $15, $100, whatever you got toward it. So if we get to that $7,500 mark, I am going to spend at least a month growing my hair back.
Whoa.
And I don't know.
You started, right? You started it.
Did I start growing my hair back?
Yeah, you've started the project.
I shaved yesterday because we're not at $7,500.
Yeah, no, not yet.
Okay.
But people are sending me pictures of me with hair that they have found in newspapers, which I think is, I don't know where these pictures existed from.
I posted a picture of you from 1996 with hair on my Twitter feed. You can check it out there. So if you get us to $7,500, folks, Greg's going to grow his hair back. I need to see this. We've never done anything like this.
My wife has never seen me with hair.
That's amazing.
She's a little nervous.
Let's just talk about one reason why this is important to donate, though. More than 47 kids are diagnosed with cancer every day. This is on the MAC Fund website. And not every story has a happy ending. 1 out of 5 kids will not survive their battle with cancer.
20%.
So that's why it's important to donate.
Yep, we got to get to this. So
and that
here's
money
the
stays in
easiest way.
Wisconsin, right? It's all pediatric
that's
cancer
amazing.
research, which is outstanding.
Here's the way to do it. Help us get to $7,500. Help us save more kids. Help us beat this dastardly disease. And help us make Greg grow his hair.
Yeah.
Text the word golf, GOLF. Text the word golf to the Old National Bank talk and text line 855-616-1620. It's that easy. Text the word golf to 855-616-1620. Old National Bank, get old. You text the word golf, and boom, we shoot you right to your phone a link, which is Greg's page for the MAC Fund for his 100 holes of golf.
It's super easy, and you can get your PayPal. I think you can use that, too.
It's so easy.
Or your Apple Pay.
It's very safe, very
Super
secure,
easy.
and it's any contribution. If you want to have some fun and see me grow hair or just feel compelled to, try and rid this wretched disease, or at least get down the path of doing so. If you've been affected by cancer in any way in your family, and this moves you in any way, we'd love to have you be a part of it, and I'll dedicate a hole to you as well. I got 100 to play. So,
I love that.
And I don't have 100 supporters yet.
Are you
so
good at
hopefully we'll
golf,
get there.
Greg?
He is. He's going to be humble here, but he is. He's a very good golfer.
I thank you for answering that, John.
Yeah, because he's too humble.
It's
to say
more
yes.
about conditioning, I think. At this
well,
point.
for 100 holes.
It's more like a marathon at this point.
So 18 holes usually takes an average person 4 hours. You will be golfing much faster than that because you're trying to do 100. But think about that: 100 holes of golf. That's a lot of golf.
Yeah, you're scooting. There are no bogey putts. I'll put it that way.
Do you start getting tired at 18?
It depends
God,
on.
hope
Honestly,
not.
it depends on the weather. The first year I did it, man, Gabe Neitzel and I did it, and we felt great. In fact, we played 110 holes. We played 10 holes coming in.
Whoa.
Last year, it got dark quick. We started late. There was a frost delay. The weather was bad, so it was
You're thinking this
a
is
little
going
more
to be
challenging on the system to get through it.
Yeah.
All right, so text the word golf to 855-616-1620. The word golf. Help us make a difference. We can do this together.
Yeah, thank you.
It is 5:56 at WTMJ. Business headlines up next.